Following week at Rose Hill, Gay Waterhouse produced her highly boomed Danehill colt, Magic of Sydney, for a tantalising clash with the unbeaten Kiwi juvenile Batavian. Meanwhile, the octagonal firm of the Inghams, Hawks and Beedman lay in waiting.
As they race into the straight, 300 out, roaring successes headed by Aerogeed. Aerogeed raced to the lead at the 200. Flavour trying to hold Magic of Sydney in the pocket. He did just that. And now Flavour's after Aerogeed. Batavian between the Magic of Sydney is charging home late. But Flavour drew clear near the line from Batavian. Magic of Sydney getting home hard in the last bit. But Flavour wins thanks to a fabulous D. Beedman ride.
The fillies race on the same day, the Riesling Slipper Trial, saw a similar Trans-Tasman clash with the Lee Friedman trained fillies Alcachel and Merlin opposed to the unbeaten L'Adore Magic, winner of the Magic Millions Classic at Trentham, and New Zealand's top race for juvenile fillies, the Matamata Breeders' Stakes.
At the 300, L'Adore Magic still in front. Merlin looks to be coasting. Now Hall pops the question. Dashing Eagle wider out with Alcachel. Merlin hit the lead. Dashing Eagle coming after her. L'Adore Magic is battling on, but Merlin draws clear close to home. Greg Hall keeping her going, and it's like mother, like daughter. Merlin does what her dam did in the Riesling Slipper Trial. She beat...
There was a week of turmoil.
First, we've both gone for electronic in the Ranvet.
We certainly have. We'll stick with Gay Waterhouse. I think electronic look fantastic in the yard. It's a good thing.
Okay, here's the prices. Number 1, Deremus is out to $3.20, the Melbourne Cup winner. Pharaoh at $11, Kingston Bay into $6, $40 out to $50 Roadworthy, Alcove at $15, $2.70 electronic, slightly shorter with bookies, $15 the penny into $12. Burrito is a 40 to 1 chance now, about 43 to 1 actually, and Hello Dale is just coming into about $17.
Now the rider of Deremus out of the saddle fleetingly, Stephen King. Stephen King just eased his weight out. He's out. Deremus is out. He's a late scratching at 4:01. Officially scratched by order of the stewards at 1 minute after 4. Deremus. We'll have an announcement about betting after the running of the race. Well, there's a sensation before they even get going. Them in. 700 to go as they come down the side. Old Pharaoh goes up to put some pressure on Burrito, who's still about a neck in front, however. Roadworthy third, electronic fourth on the fence, niggled a bit now by Dye. The penny 3 deep as they come to the corner, followed by Hello Dale, and then Alcove and Kingston Bay is about to take off as they swing for home. Straightening up, Burrito first into the straight in the Ranvet. He got away again from Pharaoh. Electronic under very heavy pressure between horses, followed by Hello Dale, and further out the penny and Kingston Bay. To the 200, Burrito the leader. Hello Dale has popped off the fence and she's the first to claim her stablemate, but here comes Electronic. Hello Dale grabbed the lead. Electronic is charging. Hello Dale and Electronic. Electronic got the upper hand close to home. Oh, gee, this is a tough mare. Electronic coming away on the line to beat Hello Dale with Alcove a good third, then Kingston Bay, Burrito, the penny, and the last couple of Roadworthy and Pharaoh.
Yeah, as John Taft said it all, she's a tough mare. She won the Canterbury Cup last week. She couldn't sprint when they accelerated. Hello Dale hit the lead in the black and white colours, but when it mattered, Simon, Electronic was too strong.
King on board, but I must admit I think there is a danger, and I'm going down the weights a little bit to number 13, Just Struck from the Hawks stable.
Okay, I'm sticking with Chlorophyll. I don't know if I'll need it if it gets beat, but it's showing at odds of 10 to 1 or $11. From the top, Talanda $7.50. Light Up the World $10 out to 11. $7 for Shame, 11 for Chlorophyll, 26 for Mad Chevelle. Pontolas $12, 41 So Keen. Peruzzi a hot favourite, $3.60 now, $3.60 for $1 investment. $15 Bionic Best, 51 Futile, 26 Isolda. Moments Pleasure 40 to 1, Destruct $17, Vigil $41, Dipping 31, Vital Consent 26.
Coolmore Classic, 1,500 metres under grey skies at Road. Off and running in the Coolmore Classic, a magnificent start. It's going to be hard to find a leader. Talanda and Chlorophyll are amongst those leaders. Mad Gap then to Isolda, followed by Light Up the World, Vigilant, Futile and Pontal last as they come to the turn. Talanda's in front, nearly a length to Chlorophyll, 2.5 to Shame and Peruzzi. They're both getting lovely runs behind the pace, followed by Bionic Bess and then Dipping, Moments Pleasure. Further back, Mad Chevelle, Destruct, So Keen, Vital Consent, Light Up the World, Isolda and Futile.
Heads a turn for home to land of the leader. Chlorophyll has raced up to grab her. 2 lengths away. Shame about to be hooked out. Peruzzi under the whip, not doing enough. And then Bionic Bess and dipping at the 200. Chlorophyll raced to the lead in the Max Lee's colours. Shame about to get to second. Bionic Bess wide out, running on strongly. But Chlorophyll is clear with 100 to go. This mare has grown a leg in recent weeks and she's going to bolt in. It's Chlorophyll, a brilliant winner over Bionic Bess. Shame will get third in front of Talander. So Keen wide out, then Destruct, Pontel, Last Vigil, followed by Peruzzi, Vital Consent, Isolde, Light Up the World, Dipping, Moment's Pleasure, Mad Cheverl, and Futile last in the Group 1 Coolmore Classic for 1996.
Simon, that's one for Kenny, Simon. When they cantered, she was always going to be hard to beat. And Chlorophyll, John Marshall sat outside the lead, shot away, and mate, Daylight was second.
Why wouldn't it be second? That's a good pick, John. She's just done a fantastic job. She jumped from 7 and perfectly ridden by Johnny Marshall. He skipped when he wanted to skip. There wasn't any pressure on.
Boom 2-year-old.
To a very consistent and well-bred 3-year-old, Encores, from the Warwick Farm stables of John Hawkes.
Encores is stuck between horses with not a lot of room as they turn for home, where Confiscate and Hippopotamus are the 2 leaders. Boss looks confident on Catlin Opening. He pops the question now to the 200. Confiscate got the better of Hippopotamus. Catlin Opening about to pounce on his Encores into the clear with the last shot at them. Confiscate, Kidman's Cove is getting through in the middle. Encores and Kidman's Cove have come away. They're fighting it out. Encores on the outside going a shade the better, and Encores beat Kidman's Cove. Catlin Opening.
The major race.
Before we whip right into the Sydney Autumn Racing, let's relive the top weight for age race across the Tasman, the Group 1 Trackside Sales Stakes at Ellerslie.
8 lengths first to last, 500 metres left to go. And Earl Harrison and Lord Majestic clearly a length and a half to back on track. Royson and behind him Abaddon, followed Silver Chalice, Ligero, and Yes Indeed. Round the bend, 400 metres to go, and it's Lord Majestic. Trackside Sales Stakes, a Group 1 event, but here's the race favourite back on track, followed by Royson, and behind him Silver Chalice as they race in 250 to go. Royson's hit the front. Silver Chalice back on track. Lord Majestic further back to Abaddon. Royson ran in sharply. Silver Chalice meantime out in the centre of the track from Royson, getting going once again. Royson has won the Trackside Sales Stakes from Silver Chalice and Eckaway. 2 lengths.
This Paint has won a major Golden Slipper lead-up. Paint's win in Canberra's Black Opal Stakes is its 4th victory from 5 starts. We'll take a look now at the closing stages.
In the straight with about 300 to go, and Painter's cruised away. Painter's dashed away from the field. Cashier in second, followed by Brave Bulldog and Master Jolly and Big Jeffrey. But look at Paint go. Painter's racing away inside the final 100, and it's all Paint. Cashier runs on fairly well, but Painter's far too good. He's down. Paint beats Cashier. Master Jolly third. Precious Glitter.
And Glenn
here is just absolutely over the top. It is magnificent. Nothing like a Dane's on his way in. It's all about to happen. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Okay, quick run down the tote board. Nothing Like a Dane's taken his place. Octagonal's favourite, 290. 330, Nothing Like a Dane. 340, Saintly. Royson into 20 to 1. Falante 9 to 1 or $10. The others are all pretty rough. Future King firmed a fraction from 50s into 40s. Okay, let's have a look at them behind the barrier as they go into line for the running of the Amy Guineas here at Royson. There he is, Saintly. Geez, a tall horse. Bart Cummings says he reminds him of Shaftesbury Avenue. Well, he was a great horse too.
He certainly was. Both are great horses. I said earlier, you've got to give credit to these trainers. The 3 times
red in the number 1 gate. He's back on all 4s, and they're off and running in the Amy Guineas. A good start, and Falante bounded out in front of Crossing, and Royson is up in a handy spot. Octagonal has come over from the outside gate, and he's 1 horse off the rail at the end of 300 metres. A brilliant ride by Beedman. Reason going up to the top turn at the 1100 mark, and Delinquent is the leader. In front by a bit more than a length now to Interval, who's in second spot, and Super Slew is carted 3 deep around that top turn. A length and a half to Nothing Like a Dane on the inside of Royson. A gap then to Falante and Octagonal together, followed by Reason. Saintly ridden patiently by Paddy Payne. Well back Shahrazar, Future King and Bowl Chief about to take off will be carted pretty deep as they come down the side to the 700 metres mark, and it's Delinquent the leader. In second place, Interval under pressure. Super Slew on the outside. Nothing Like a Dane on the fence, being ridden a bit as they come to the turn, followed by Royson. Octagonal 3 deep is also under heavy pressure, and then Falante, and Saintly is taken to the extreme outside as they turn for home. In the straight, Delinquent the leader. Nothing Like a Dane looming up on the outside. Octagonal and Saintly right out in the middle of the track. Nothing Like a Dane hit the lead at the 200, but Octagonal has gobbled him up on the outside. Saintly is going to have the last shot at them. Octagonal just in front of Nothing Like a Dane. Saintly on the outside. Octagonal just in front as they get near home. Saintly lunged. Octagonal wins the guineas from either Saintly on the outside or Nothing Like a Dane, which kicked again. You couldn't have written the script any better than that. Flashing home Falante, and then Delinquent, Reasons, Royson, followed by Future King, Super Slew, Shahrazar and Interval, and Bolt.
That's their intention to head to Rosehill. We have the guineas of the decade.
Octagonal, 3 deep, is also under heavy pressure, and then Falante and Saintly is taken to the extreme outside as they turn for home. In the straight, Delinquent the leader, Nothing Like a Dane looming up on the outside. Octagonal and Saintly right out in the middle of the track. Nothing Like a Dane hit the lead at the 200, but Octagonal has gobbled him up on the outside. Saintly is going to have the last shot at them. Octagonal just in front of Nothing Like a Dane. Saintly on the outside. Octagonal just in front as they get near home. Saintly lunged. Octagonal wins the guineas from either Saintly on the outside or Nothing Like a Dane, which kicked again. You couldn't have written the script any better than that. Flashing guineas.
Well, you wouldn't get a better finish than that. 3 great colts, all perfectly ridden, all had their chance. The winner, Octagonal, 290, 130. Second, Saintly, 150. Third, Nothing Like a Dane, 150. Nothing Like a Dane in the tartan in front, joined by Octagonal in the cerise. Saintly come at them 3 deep. Patrick Payne with a whip in his right hand. He dived. Gee, got close at the finish, but he didn't quite get there. And the winner by about a head will be Octagonal. Here's another angle who all week had said he thought his colt would win. He was quite confident, was proved correctly. Simon O'Donnell is over there now as the horses come back to scale. Over to you, Simon.
John, they all had a crack at you, but you were the one that got your nose over the line first.
Yeah, Simon, I've been very confident all week that, we had the, horse rider on the right day, and turned out to be a great race, and I think the whole 3 of them had every chance to run him down. The other 2 had every hope, and I think the best horse on the day won.
I think there's still a lot more to come for the autumn, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, I mean, this is what racing's all about, The next time it's a different ball game, but you can only win, and it was a sensational win.
It was a great
day yesterday at Rosehill. A remarkable day, a truly historic day, because it was one of the great finishes in racing. It promised to be something outstanding, and it certainly lived up to it. I'm referring, of course, to the Amy Guineas, in which Octagonal came out triumphant and a worthy winner.
Yeah, what you saw yesterday, they billed it as the possible race of the decade. And of course it was a sensational finish with Octagonal reigning supreme over Saintly and Nothing Like a Dane.
Yeah, well, Keith Hillier can have Cigar, I'll have Octagonal.
Fantastic.
Because I thought it was a magnificent performance, thoroughly deserved, when this horse is one of the most courageous I think we've seen in recent years. I don't know whether he's the best, whether he's a Kingston town, but by gee, he gives his all.
Well, his trainer's joining us, John Hawkes. John, we gained ovations at Rosehill yesterday. They've seen some tremendous champions in recent weeks.
Yes, remarkable. There are only just over 16,000 at Rosehill yesterday, David. I thought it was a match worthy of 40, but the 16,000 really enjoyed themselves, and they sounded like 40.
Saintly is going to have the last shot at them. Octagonal just in front of Nothing Like a Dane. Saintly on the outside. Octagonal just in front as they get near home. Saintly lunged. Octagonal wins the guineas from either Saintly on the outside or Nothing Like a Dane.
John, what was the initial reaction?
OK, I've gone for Juggler, the favourite, but I'm a bit scared of Mahogany too. He might be worth a saver bet. Let's have a look at them. Mahogany been well backed in the ring at $6 on the tote. Odds of 5 to 1. Pharaoh at $34. March here at $9, Oppressor $34, Kingston Bay $26, Star Dancer $17, Magic Road $41, Juggler $2.70 on the Giddy Goat. That's 1.7 to 1. Darren Beedman, the jockey. Gee whiz, he's having a trot, isn't he? Barisnikov at $26, 41 for Nick's Joy. Buzz offers a scratching. Auntie Mary at $21, $6.50 for Flying Spur, who, like Mahogany, is trained by Lee Friedman. The other 3-year-old, Rivada, $34, and Encores, another 3-year-old, at $13. Butter Stakes.
This is the Sydney Harbour Casino Stakes. I just saw the whole Casino Stakes. Good start, although Mahogany seemed to dig in the toes on settling down. He went straight back towards the tail. Magic, Auntie Mary and Encores, and then Mahogany and Star Dancer. 700 out as they near the turn. Flying Spur the leader. Rivada second. Magic Road third, followed by March Hero. Pressor off the track. Nick's Joy followed Star Dancer. 700 out as they near the turn. Flying Spur the leader. Rivada second. Magic Road third, followed by March Hero. Pressor off the track. Nick's Nick's Joy, followed by Kingston Bay, and then Pharaoh Jugglers midfield between horses, flat out as they come around the turn. Straightening up and Flying Spur, the leader, over Rivada on the outside, and then Magic Road, followed by March Hare. Further back, Kingston Bay and Juggler to the 200, and Rivada has headed Flying Spur. March Hare running on boldly, followed by Magic Road, and Encores from a long way back, and Mahogany charging home late. Rivada's in front, 100 out over Flying Spur. The 3-year-old Encores is absolutely motoring to the line, but he won't get there. Rivada beat the fast finishing Encores. Flying Spur third, March Hare fourth, followed by Juggler, never really going well. At the head of the others, Magic Road, Mahogany, and then Star Dancer, followed by Barishnikov, Pharaoh. Well back, Kingston Bay, Ando Pressor, and Nick's Joy is last. Jugglers midfield between horses, flat out as they come around the turn. Straightening up and Flying Spur, the leader, over Rivada on the outside, and then Magic Road, followed by March Hare. Further back, Kingston Bay and Juggler to the 200, and Rivada has headed Flying Spur. March Hare running on boldly, followed by Magic Road, and Encores from a long way back, and Mahogany charging home late. Rivada's in front, 100 out over Flying Spur. The 3-year-old Encores is absolutely motoring to the line, but he won't get there. Rivada beat the fast finishing Encores. Flying Spur third.
Remember the strength.
3-year-olds. The winner, Rivada, upwards of $38 for the win, $8.50 the place. Second, number 50.
Yes, well, I do think that Priceless Joy can be placed to win. Certainly not a golden slipper. Nothing like a Dane. Hasn't been on our list of horses to follow. I think he had more scope for improvement than the other pair yesterday, but they're going to be 3-horse wars whenever they meet, and I do think Buzz-Off will win the Doncaster.
And your tip for the slipper?
I'd like to wait for the barrier draw, but at this stage I would say just marginally Merlin.
Okay, one of the floor
A great empty quarter, and if the world came to Brazil for Formula One, the best certainly made the pilgrimage to the United Arab Emirates for the richest race in the history of thoroughbreds, the $4 million Dubai World Cup. The main race is the closest horse racing comes to a world championship, 1.25 miles on dirt. The best of Europe, Japan and Australia are in the lineup, but the best of the best these days comes from America. 13 consecutive times a winner, Cigar.
True champions are the lifeblood of racing, and in Cigar we have the real thing. This is no hype horse. He's quarried out his reputation the hard way, with a winning record that now stretches to 13. His 10 wins last season included 8 Grade 1 races and culminated in comprehensive victory in the Breeders' Cup Classic. His presence in today's big heat adds real stature to the first Dubai World Cup.
Challenger.
Win was fast astride. That gets the early call through on the inside. Running fast is the carrier. Spot the white blinkers and the carrier takes them on. At this stage, just halfway stage, Dame Win's got the split between the pack. Got it, getting them covered is Pentime making ground the outside. Then comes Halligan virtually in all white jacket as they come to the top of the home run. And this Cigar, he's going double as they turn for home with 3 furlongs to go. The carrier tries to make a race of it. Cigar the start sleeve jacket. Yellow slides, here comes Pentire. Dame Win can fight no more. Soul of the Matter has made giant strides through. But Cigar goes for home, a quarter of a mile to go, and Cigar has it. But here comes Soul of the Matter on the outside, and Soul of the Matter comes to press for Cigar. America 1 and 2, Pentime back in third. They've got a furlong to go. It's a duel to the line. Soul of the Matter the outside of Cigar, and Cigar is digging deep. He's never had to fight harder. He's coming back. It's going to be Cigar who's going to take it. Up the line, Cigar by 3 parts of it. 14 out of 14 for Cigar. A world champion. Soul of the Matter is second.
Yes, the Breeders' Cup commentator describes Cigar the best, I think. The incomparable, invincible, unbeatable Cigar.
For length, while Australia's entrant, Dane Win, weakened badly to finish second last. Cigar has now won 14 races in a row, and his Dubai check takes his total earnings to $7.7 million US. That's almost 10 million Australian.
Max, we just haven't got time for the totes. Both Simon and I like Chlorophyll. She's showing at $3.80. She's the hot favourite. They're about to jump. Here's Johnny Tapp.
It's Shame and Golden Apt. And they're all set for the first on Slipper Day. The gates open, they're off and running, and there is a magnificent start. Light Up the World can't go early. She went straight back. Shame is well back with that Astra, Golden Apt and Fair Diana last as they come around the turn. Into the straight, and which of these mares will be the queen of the turf? Chlorophyll is about 4 off the fence. She's in front over Talander, getting an inside run as Vigil. There's a split between them for Bionic Bess, who's looming up now. At the 300, Chlorophyll tackled by Bionic Bess, who burst to the lead. Bionic Bess dashed clear past the 200 over Vigil. His Shame thundering home from a mile back. Oh, Beedman's ridden her with tremendous patience today, and Shame is overpowering Bionic Bess, and the big filly wins it brilliantly. Shame beat Bionic Bess. Destructors run third, followed by Vigil, Hippopotamus, Light Up the World, Golden App, Talander. Chlorophyll knocked up in the straight. She hung today, though. Then Our Marquise at Astra, followed by Fair Diana, Wellback Star County, and then Tripping and Vital Consent. And So Keen pulled up with the tail enders in the Novotel, Queen of the Turf.
Yeah, no doubt about the winner, Shame, and if you've backed her, she's going to pay $7.40 and $2.60. Number 6 was second. Bionic Best will pay $2.50, and number 9 third. Destruct will pay $6.80. That's Shame in the cerise colours, just grabbing Bionic Best, or to use a racing cliche, in the shadow of the post. And victory to Darren Beedman and the Johnny Hawks team in the first race, the Queen of the Turf Stakes on Golden Slipper Day 1996. TAB number 4.
Get up for something to come from behind.
Well, I reckon, as I said, Sprint By will go forward. There's a couple of the
set, and they're off and running. The Golden Greek seemed to sprawl out, and Torpedo Kid is a shade tardy. Sherwood, as always, is Nikov moving forward, and then Seasky and the Golden Greek with Sherwood last about 12 lengths off the lead as they near the turn. Sprint By held together by Glenn Boss, about a neck on Mozzie O'Tunya. 3 deep is Dana Singer, right off the track Jamia, and then Kidman's Cove, followed by Nick's Joy and All Our Mob as they flatten for the run in. Sprint By Mozzie O'Tunya, wider out Dana Singer, putting in a dash. Kidman's Cove is behind them, not getting a lot of room, and All Our Mob is going to have the last run. 150 out, Sprint By kicked. Kidman's Cove into the clear now. Look at Catlin Opening, jumping out of the ground with All Our Mob. By gee, it's a finish as they get near home. Catlin Opening, Kidman's Cove dive through. Catlin Opening wide out has probably just beaten Kidman's Cove. Sprint By and Dana Singer in a photo for third. All Our Mob just wilted under the big weight, followed by Mozzie O'Tunya, Teos, the Golden Greek, Seasky, Hedge. Further back, Varishnikov, Jamia, then Nick's Joy and Chernganov, followed by Sherwood, and back at the tail of the field, Torpedo Kid.
Yeah, you'll find that he's won Catlin Opening out in the centre of the track. Very close. Kidman's Cove was held up inside of Mozzie O'Tunya in the green cap. He gets through, but just as he gets through, Catlin Opening was diving down the outside, and I think this will be 2 times in a row he's been unlucky, but there's no doubt that Catlin Opening will get the prize to pay $12 or a little more for the win, $4 for second. Here's the head-on, Catlin Opening. Celius, I think we're both going to tip that. It's odds on, but getting to a realistic price now, $1.80 on the tote. Alacrity into $13. Pontolas into about $7.50, $7.60 now. The Lions Roar into $9.50. $21 Isolde and Arctic Scent. $7.50 for Hello Dale. Eureka Jewel is out. 50 to 1 Nightclub. 33 to 1 Bravo Zulu. 40 to 1 Ken Bell. And
the breeze has freshened considerably at Rose Hill, and the infield flags are starting to show evidence of that. 200 people there. Off and running. Good start in the Ansett Australia Stakes, and one of the first out. 700 mark, it's Celius. A half length to Pontal Lass, keeping the favourite busy. In third, keeping the favourite busy. In third place, Alacrity, followed by Ken Bell. 3 deep Military Call, followed by Isolde on the fence. The Lines Roar with nowhere to go. Arctic Scent about to take off. Followed well back by Hello Dale, and then Nightclub and Love's Avenue, and back at the tail is Bravo Zulu as they come around the corner. Into the straight, it's Celius, the leader over Pontal Lass, Ken Bell and Alacrity. The Lines Roar on the fence. Arctic Centre's wider out, followed by Isolde and Hello Dale as they come past the 200. Beedman released the brakes. He stepped on the gas, and Celius put about 4 lengths on Ken Bell, followed by Alacrity. Hello Dale is grinding home wide out. She's running about badly, Hello Dale, and Celius clear. The bolter Ken Bell has run a heck of a race for second, but Celius beat Ken Bell. Hello Dale third, then Bravo Zulu, Nightclub, Isolde, Alacrity, the Lines Roar, followed by Military Call, well back as Arctic Scent and Love's Avenue, and Pontal Lass has weakened to run last in the Ansett Australia Stakes.
Well, it was a jog trot for Celius, $1.80 and $1.20. As you see, Darren Beedman, as John said, when he released the brakes, off she went. And that was the end of that. Ken Bell, a promising staying filly, gets into second spot, TAB number 11, and she's going to pay a whopping dividend of $6.90 for second. And number 7, Peep on the slide, $2.60. Scenic Royale out to $2.60. $16 Burrito, $21.
What's going here? He's heading off at the gallop down the track in front of the starting stalls. Stakes with Sky Boa Shade Tardy.
One of the first out is Interval, Alfaro and Freeman's Flag is last, and they're bunching up in the Tulloch as they come to the turn. 500 out. It's Burrito, just the leader from Interval, and Scenic Royale on the outside. Dittman's ridden this horse like a dead set stayer, followed by Bowl Chief and then Master Builder, Clear Say. Peep on the slide, taking half an hour to get going. Scenic Royale hit the lead. Payback Time's the first to challenge. He's hit the front. Payback Time. Payback Time takes the lead at the 200. Peep on the sly, wide out, is starting to work home now. Payback Time, the leader. Peep on the sly, hitting top gear is after him, and Interval is boxing on strongly. Al Farris is barging through in the centre. Peep on the sly and Al Farris, they hit the line. There's nothing in it, nearly a dead heat. Peep on the sly or Al Farris, it's a very tight one. Payback Time maybe third in front of Interval from Skybow, Bowl Chief. Scenic Royale weakened out of it, then Master Builder, Burrito, Freeman's Flag and Clear Say.
Wow, what a finish. Let's try and line them up. Peep on the sly has definitely hit the front, as you can see, and in the white cap pushing through the middle is Al Farris from the Gay Waterhouse stable. Boy, oh boy, is that close. If any...
The Tulloch Stakes, the performance of Peep on the sly.
He's a very good three-year-old. I just wonder whether he's maybe a length behind the better ones, Octagonal and Nothing Like a Dane & Co. But, gee, this is a performance that is full of merit. And his trainer, Bob Maxwell, said, don't overlook him in the Derby, and perhaps we shouldn't. To my mind, he's a length or two behind the best, but I wouldn't mind him in my backyard.
Lee, how do you rate him?
Yeah, I think it's a reasonably accurate assessment, David. I think he perhaps just doesn't have the acceleration that the other two may have at the end of 2,400 metres, but he's still a very good horse.
Well, I know you're still the president of the Octagonal fan club, mate.
I am the president of the Octagonal fan club. Last week you talked me out of backing him on Friday night. I don't appreciate that. He's my favourite horse. I'll stick with him wherever he goes. I think he's a genuine horse. We'll try every time. And today I think he'll win, and then we can declare him a true champion.
I'm sticking with you, and I'm backing Octagonal. Simon, let's go down the board. $8.50 for Viali. 100 to 1 is Dark Czar. $9 Electronic, 41 Starstruck, 26 Alcove, 650 Count Shivers, down to the two favourites, 270 now for Octagonal, 350 for Saintly. They're about to jump. Here's John.
Mercedes Classic. They're often running good starts, and Dark Czar, if anything, is a shade tardy to begin. Count Shivers, and then Octagonal and Dark Czar, and Carla Chief is last at the 800. And Circles of Gold has burst away. It's Circles of Gold a mile in front now. She led by about 4 lengths to Alcove. Beaux-Art has dropped off, followed by Viali. Electronic 3 deep under pressure. A gap to Starstruck. Saintly is about to take off with Delinquent, followed by Count Shivers. Octagonal is tacking onto the main bunch. Beedman looked as though he was going to get between horses, but changes his mind, and he is still tracking Saintly as they turn for home. Circles of Gold has got a big lead turning the corner. Circles of Gold about 4 in front of Alcove. Count Shivers, Electronic, Saintly and Octagonal. Here come the 3-year-olds down the outside. Circles of Gold in front at the 200. Count Shivers in the centre. Octagonal, Saintly's gone. It's Count Shivers and Octagonal. Octagonal headed. Count Shivers close to home in the Mercedes Classic, and Octagonal, desperately ridden by Beedman, is drawing away. He'll win. Octagonal has won brilliantly. From Count Shivers, thirds close, Electronic or Saintly, followed by Viali, Circles of Gold, Alcove, Beaux-Art, Delinquent, well back Viali, followed then by Dark Czar, and the last couple are Starstruck and Carla Chief.
The Mercedes-Benz Classic.
Octagonal is tacking onto the main bunch. Beedman looked as though he was going to get between horses, but changes his mind, and he is still tracking Saintly as they turn for home. Circles of Gold has got a big lead turning the corner. Circles of Gold about 4 in front of Alcove. Count Shivers, Electronic, Saintly and Octagonal. Here come the 3-year-olds down the outside. Circles of Gold in front at the 200. Count Shivers in the centre. Octagonal, Saintly's gone. It's Count Shivers and Octagonal. Octagonal headed. Count Shivers close to home in the Mercedes Classic, and Octagonal, desperately ridden by Beedman, is drawing away. He'll win. Octagonal has won brilliantly.
And so, Simon, I think we can call him a champ. Saintly didn't stay, but Octagonal sure did, and he beat the older horse, Count Shivers.
Absolutely sensational. Darren Beeman, you see a little wave of the whip as he goes past the post, so he should.
Finally earning the tag champion from trainer John Hawkes.
I think he's definitely earned it now, and by far the best horse I've ever trained, might ever train for that matter. But
the opposition camp, the performance of Octagonal yesterday, do you rate him now? Can we put the champion tag on him?
I hate Octagonal. I've run into Octagonal a few times now. I did beat him in the Golden Slipper last year, but he's since beaten us in the Cox Plate and again yesterday. But no, seriously, he's a tremendous horse. I think champion 3-year-old, and will probably be horse of the year this year.
And Beedman's performance on him yesterday, Max, was fantastic.
A great combination. But, Lee, can Octagonal be the same horse in the AJC Derby on Saturday as he has been backing up 3 hard runs in 3 Saturdays?
Well, that's the big question, and I guess that won't be answered until after he runs next week. He's obviously a very adaptable horse. He's obviously very tough, but he can take hard racing. And but it'll be interesting to see the 3-year-old that hasn't run this week, whether he's better than the other 2 next week, or...
We might have a look at the performance yesterday. And again, another classic confrontation coming up at Ranvet in the AJC Derby, which will feature Stately, Nothing Like a Dame, and this mighty horse Octagonal, Max.
Yes, and Count Shivers, who ran a very, very good race here, trained by Lee Friedman. Lee, Count Shivers, where does he go from here?
Straight into the Sydney Cup now, Max.
Yes, there's Octagonal. What a courageous horse, what a good horse, but another tough run. You just wonder whether he can back up and be as good in the AJC Derby, but that's what quality horses are all about. They can do what the average horse doesn't.
He's won 5 Group 1 races, and if he wins the Derby, Max, when you look back to the Cox Plate, the Rosehill Guineas, the Canterbury Guineas, and the Classic by any name, no horse, even Kingston Town, who missed the Canterbury Guineas, has won that quintet.
No, and that's what makes this spring all the more gripping. I think it has been Octagonal and Lee Fried to Octagonal.
Gentlemen, can he win the Derby? Of course he can, John. He's a bit of a super horse, Octagonal. He just gets there, but he's got courage galore, and he sprinted pretty quickly too in the Mercedes. Oh boy, it's hard to tip against him in the Derby.
Simon. He'll win the Derby, and then we'll be saying he's even a better champion than what we thought. He'll be better than Kingston Town. He'll be the best horse we've seen in 40 years.
I wasn't expecting that answer, but thanks anyway.
Not very much, Max. The big move in the ring is for Zaya, and there's not much between 3 of them now for favouritism. Number 1, Paint, Zaya, the Melbourne filly, and the other Melbourne filly, Merlin, who has kept her place in the market as well. On the tote, it's $4.20 for Paint. Down them quickly, Flavour 10, XL Pilot 17, Clang 10, down to the favoured runners. Merlin is showing $5.30 now, and Zaya into $5.90, as most of them are gone in to the barrier for the running of the Golden Slipper. Simon, there he is, the favourite Paint, or the tote favourite Paint, in the ring. Not much between Paint, Merlin, the Lee Friedman trained filly going for his 4th straight Golden Slipper, and also the
Off and running in the slipper. Good start. Brave Bulldog is a shade tardy to begin. Magic of Sydney's going straight back to last. And Excel Pilot is away brilliantly. Paint is going fast in the early stages, followed by Armadale, Master Jolly, Flavour. Flapper ridden hard, 5 and 6 deep in the early part, going up towards the lead. Sovereign State handy, but he's out very wide on the outside of Happen. A gap then to Brave Bulldog. Merlin is back midfield on the inside, followed by Clang, Dane Rippers off the track. And then Zaya, Batavian, Precious Glitter, Magic of Sydney is last, about 12 lengths off the lead. 600 metres out, Excel Pilot the leader. In Paint getting off the fence now, moves into second spot as they come around the home turn. Flapper carted 3 deep. Flavours 3 wide on the outside of Master Jolly. Armadale on the fence. Merlin looking for the way out. Oh, there's trouble on the turn as Merlin came out. Brave Bulldog was hampered, and so was Sovereign State. Magic of Sydney is taken to the extreme outside. Coming to the 200 mark, Paint is the leader, but here comes Merlin. Merlin on the outside is coming at Paint with Flavour between them. Merlin shot to the front 100 metres out. She's racing away, the little Danehill filly, and Merlin is going to score a magnificent win in the slipper. 4 for the Friedmans. Paint got the Pilot the leader. In Paint getting off the fence now, moves into second spot as they come around the home turn. Flapper carted 3 deep. Flavours 3 wide on the outside of Master Jolly. Armadale on the fence. Merlin looking for the way out. Oh, there's trouble on the turn as Merlin came out. Brave Bulldog was hampered, and so was Sovereign State. Magic of Sydney is taken to the extreme outside. Coming to the 200 mark, Paint is the leader, but here comes Merlin. Merlin on the outside is coming at Paint with Flavour between them. Merlin shot to the front 100 metres out. She's racing away, the little Danehill filly, and Merlin is going to score a magnificent win in the slipper. 4 for the Friedmans. Paint got second, Flavour third, then Batavian, Armadale, Zaya, followed by Dane Ripper, Precious Glitter, Clang, Sovereign State, Magic of Sydney, never in it, from Excel Pilot, Master Jolly, and then Flapper and Happen, and Brave Bulldog last in the Tui's Golden Slipper for 1996.
Published filly did what her mother Bold Promise couldn't do. Bold Promise started favourite in a slipper and wasn't good enough. There's the winning trainer, Lee Friedman. He's got slipper written all over him because he's now won 4 in a row. And there's Lee Friedman's beer. Tui's promised him free beer for the rest of his life if he could win the Golden Slipper. And boy, oh boy, I think Simon O'Donnell is going to be one of his many friends. Here's the...
Mick, that was just fantastic.
Oh, just sensational, mate. I mean, you'd plan for these big races and you sort of hope everything goes to plan, and he's just ridden another gem of a race, gee.
He just comes good under this sort of pressure, doesn't he?
Freak. He's just a freak under pressure. He's sort of, I mean, we were feeling a bit of pressure today because, you know, the 4 winners in a row, and he's just ridden the absolute perfect race.
There's a few freaks under pressure. The Freedman family and G Hall.
Yeah, well, not anymore, mate. We're cruising now.
Mate, I'd just like to let you know, and you're going to have enough to pay for it, we need a bit of laundry here.
What happened after the Melbourne Cup? It got covered in champagne, so it won't worry me today.
We'll cover it again and go and enjoy it.
Thanks, mate.
On the barrier and that, once I got her out in the straight, I knew she'd get to the line, and she's a brilliant filly.
What about the trainer, Lee Friedman? 4 in a row. You've been on 2 of them. It's a pretty good habit.
Yeah, well, he's not a brilliant filly, but he's a good bloke.
Became the first trainer to win 4 successive Golden Slippers with his filly Merlin, and winning jockey Greg Hall copped Australia's largest ever fine, $50,000, and he was suspended for 4 weeks as well for interference during the race.
Everywhere riding.
There wasn't a lot I could do, but I had trouble in front of me too. And I switched over their heels, so I think they left a run there for me. But they closed it off. And then I come out over their heels. He shifted out abruptly.
Chief Steward Ray Murray had promised big penalties for interference. He handed down the largest fine ever, $50,000 plus a 2-month suspension.
2 months and 50,000, ridiculous. The penalties are too severe in our country. It's the first time it's happened, but they're far too severe.
I can imagine that might be Greg's view, but also he won the race, and he took the chances of about 5 other runners out when he shifted.
The job to do, and I was happy the way I done it.
2 other
says that Greg Hall did what he had to do. Of course, I was on Merlin. The critics say that Greg only had to wait another 50 metres. He would have got a clear run anyway, but great jockeys don't wait, they make it happen.
Well, Keith Elliott,
$50,000. Listening to Ray Murray and the inquiry, Keith, I would say that $50,000 in his opinion is too slight. He would have rather made it 60. I'm
in the race. I mean, in every instance where we've won it, our horses have had a fairly incident-free run, which is, I think, very important in most big races.
Okay, well, joining us in the Melbourne...
...be viewed kindly, and they would be looking to just snavel up the winning check of any jockey that caused blatant interference.
Yeah, Max, I mean, we say that, but I mean, you know, I've got a lot of... I mean, I'm sure the public wouldn't have been too happy with me if I had stayed 5th or 6th on the fence. I mean, forget my connections or my trainers. The public alone, I mean, you are on a 3-to-1 favourite. You have got obligations, you know, you're not on a 200-to-1 shot that was the horse directly outside me. I mean, I sort of agree with Keith a bit. I've got the maximum. I mean, in the scale of 1 to 10, the charge I've been charged with is number 1. It's the barest charge you can get on. I mean, it's not foul riding, it's not improper, it's not being abusive to the stewards. I mean,
what's on it? Named after Merlin Otti, and obviously performs like it too.
Yeah, well, it's great. We've had a lot of luck actually with horses named after great sports people, because of course we had Celius as well. So I think this will become a trend Australian-wide, certainly for us to name more of these horses.
Situation.
What were your thoughts going through here, Greg?
Yeah, well, my thoughts were obviously Max's eyes was on me. But see, I mean, they say Max, I could have waited another 50 metres. Now that's not quite right, because that's a bad angle. Where Flavour was and the way Darren Beedman's riding, he's the top rider in Australia at the moment. We've seen what he done on Flavour with Magic of Sydney. Now he was in the same position with me on Merlin, and I wasn't going to fall into that trap, I can assure you. But what I'm saying is, Max, Flavour was three-quarters of length back behind those 3 vying for the lead, which was going to make the situation impossible. So I sort of had to come back and come out. I know it looks like on tally I could have waited longer, but to do that, the horses in front of me would have been coming back on me.
In New South Wales, Merlin paid $5.20 and $2.30, Paint $2 even, and Flavour $3.50 in the trifecta.
In the afternoons. Chief Steward Ray Murray precipitated enormous headlines when he later suspended Hall for 2 months and fined him a record $50,000. This episode had an untidy sequel in the rooms of the AJC committee, where Hall was additionally charged with improper riding, a charge he denied and against which he sought immediate redress through the courts. The committee The committee subsequently withdrew the additional charge against Hall, but the whole affair left a sour taste in a great many mouths.
But there's no question which race today's crowd has come to see.
Stirring moments throughout Australia's turf history that no one forgets. Like Derby Day 1973, when a TJ Smith colt called Imagil produced one of the most courageous finishes you're ever likely to see. Victorious in a three-horse walk.
Imagil like a lover, and Grand Stadium, they go to the line, locked together, camera, Imagil!
When it comes to Octagonal, nothing like a Dane and Saintly. A showdown between the best three-year-olds in the land at Royal Randwick, not just a highlight of the autumn racing carnival, but a battle set to become one of the all-time classics.
Octagonal just in front of nothing like a Dane. Saintly on the outside. Octagonal just in front as they get near home. Saintly lunged. Octagonal wins the guineas.
I've ridden a lot of great horses, a lot of champions, but I'd say he'd have to be the best from 1.25 miles onwards.
And win it and train the whole three. But no, you've got to wait 20 years to get the opposition like we've got in the Derby here on Saturday.
They're calling it the Derby of the decade. This out
today, as far as I'm concerned, he's already, in my book, been declared a champion. Win this race or not, that's not making any excuses. Again, I think he'll win the AJC Derby today. He won't win it by a lot, but he will definitely be declared a champion after this race.
Yeah, when they put the number in the frame, they pay out. And there's TAB number 2, Nothing Like a Dane, 11 starts, 6 wins, $1,388,090. And gee whiz, he looks the part today, the big horse.
Yeah, because he didn't run last week. I think he'll run a very bold race. Gay Waterhouse is a very shrewd horse trainer.
Octagonal in the Rosehill Guineas, but was found wanting a little bit over 2,400 last week, Simon. Larry Cassidy to ride him. He's showing at $5.20. Nothing Like a Dane, incidentally, was $3.30. There's the Saintly Fan Club with a lap to go. Number 1, Octagonal, $2.30. Number 2, Nothing Like a Dane, $3.30. Number 3, Saintly, is in now from $5.50 to $5.30. Peep on the Sly is at $11. Royson, $15.
I've seen so many people get into one place. It's the biggest crowd I've seen in my life.
Yeah, great crowd at Randwick today, and isn't it?
Australian Derby came away in a nice even line. Hard to find an early leader. Saintly is one of them with Falante and Super Slew. Interval rushing over from they reach the top turn. Interval led in a truly run Derby by a length to Nothing Like a Dane. Royson third, getting a lovely run. A bit more than 2 to Falante, another 2 to Super Slew, and then Saintly followed by Reasons. Octagonal's about 8 lengths off the lead, maybe a little more, and then Peep on the Sly and Magic, and 3 lengths away last Skybow. Past the 800 metres mark. Interval the leader by a half to Nothing Like a Dane. Royson third, hasn't covered 1 inch of extra ground. Falante is coming into it now, followed by Super Slew and then Saintly. Octagonal about to take off. 3 deep is starting to pick up these leaders as they near the turn, followed by Magic and then Reasons. Peep on the Sly and Skybow tailed off under the whip as they come around the turn, where Nothing Like a Dane takes the lead. Nothing Like a Dane hit the front up the rise. Falante's the first to go after him. Here comes Saintly with Octagonal down the extreme outside, out after them now. Falante headed Nothing Like a Dane, further out Saintly, and here comes the big O. Octagonal with the last run at them. Falante, Saintly and Octagonal, they've come away from Nothing Like a Dane. Saintly and Octagonal. Beedman throwing everything at Octagonal. He gets there. Yes, Octagonal wins the Derby. Octagonal again by a neck to Saintly. Falante third, Royson fourth, in front of Nothing Like a Dane, followed by Super Slew, and then Magic and Interval well back in the field. Then came Reasons, Peep on the Sly, and Skybow last in the... About to take off. 3 deep is starting to pick up these leaders as they near the turn, followed by Magic and then Reasons, Peep on the Sly, and Skybow tailed off under the whip as they come around the turn, where Nothing Like a Dane takes the lead. Nothing Like a Dane hit the front up the rise. Falante's the first to go after him. Here comes Saintly with Octagonal down the extreme outside, out after them now. Falante headed Nothing Like a Dane, further out Saintly, and here comes the big O. Octagonal with the last run at them. Falante, Saintly and Octagonal, they've come away from Nothing Like a Dane. Saintly and Octagonal. Beedman throwing everything at Octagonal. He gets there. Yes, Octagonal wins the Derby.
What a make.
Well, what a win. The mighty Octagonal. Simon, you give a big cheer there. What a horse he is. $2.20 and $1.20 on the place. Second, Saintly, and what a run he turned in. Here's the replay. Saintly giving heaps. Falante, what a race he turned in. And Octagonal grabbed them both right on the post. Darren Beedman, well might you wave your whip in elation.
He was never going to get beat. He is a champion racehorse. He will always win by that margin. I say bring on Cigar, bring on whatever. We'll run him along Ellison Road on the bitumen. This horse is an absolute champion. Credit to Saintly, Falante as well. Any other year, Falante probably wins a Derby, but it ran up against two out-and-out class horses. The Toppy, it is an out-and-out champion. It's the best horse in the world.
Here, and I think I've seen more atmosphere ever at Ranvet, with the possible exception of when Superimposed won his 4th big mile in a row. But boy, oh boy, the crowd warmed to Darren Beedman and warmed to this marvellous colt. This brown colt by Zabu.
The big O, Octagonal, he is one racehorse.
Keith Hilliard down in Melbourne, the icing on the cake, the performance of Darren Beedman once again. His performances in the last 2 or 3 weeks have been outstanding on this great colt.
A superb ride, and I wished I'd been, David, one of the 40,000 plus at Randwick yesterday, to see the big O. The O must be for outstanding. Here at Caulfield, the crowd rose and cheered. The cheer here was deafening. He's a sensational horse, 4 Group 1 wins in 4 weeks, 6 in his career. He's already 3rd on the Australian Stakes tally list. He's very, very special. I think he probably is verging on what John Hawkes thinks he is, a champion.
Max,
who was in Sydney yesterday, apparently just likened him to Better Loosen Up, because Better Loosen Up won most of his races by narrow margins. Digs in, he's all quality, he's just a super horse.
Be critical of Cassidy's ride on Saintly.
No, Mick Dittman on Falante, both epic rides. It would appear nothing like a Dane isn't the horse he was in the spring.
This is a grinding Octagonal now. He's grinding away. The others look to have him struggling. Beedman's gone for the whip, but this is where he digs in. This is championship quality. This is a memorable Derby finish.
They've come away from nothing like a Dane. Saintly and Octagonal. Beedman throwing everything at Octagonal. He gets there. Yes, Octagonal.
I feel like roaring again, Max.
Feel free, Keith. Feel free.
Okay.
Oh, look, the good news is that the owners have decided for him to have at least another dozen races. He's not a powder puff champion either. He won't retire as a 3-year-old. He'll go on at 4. The aim is to win another Cox Plate, an Australian Cup and the Mercedes Classic again. And who's to say won't make... Oh, we better not make those long-range predictions. We've done that before, haven't we? But he's going to be the horse to beat them all.
I think a Caster. Let's race down the tape forward. Deremus just over $17. Pharaoh's $67. Star Dancer's come in a little bit at just over $17. All our mob at $8. Kingston Bay 81. Seascape 51. Dennis Singer $10 exactly. Juggler favourite $3.80. Catlin Opening will in commission $8. Nick's Joy 40 to 1. Pakarenga Stars big odds. Rivada at 20 to 1. Shame $11 or 10 to 1. Sprint by $17. Magic Road 34. The penny.
BMW Doncaster. Ready for action. Off and running in the Doncaster, a magnificent start. Magic Road, one of the first out. All our mob is away brilliantly, so is Nick's Joy. On the fence, Nick's Joy, sprint by in a good posse. Dana Singer 3 deep is making ground quickly. And then Bionic Bess on the fence as Juggler. All our mob between horses coming down the side. Pharaoh wide. And then the Penny Catlin Opening, followed by Kingston Bay. Shame can't get on the track. Further back, Auntie Mary, followed by Star Dancer, Pakaraka Star, Deremus and Seascape. Classy Fella last as the Doncaster field nears the turn. Magic Road and Rivada, the 2 leaders. Our Marquis in 3rd place. Nick's Joy on the fence, followed by Sprint By. And then Dana Singer, Pharaoh canted wide on the turn. Jugglers on the fence behind a big bunch of horses, followed by All Our Mob, and then Bionic Bess, and well back as Shame as they come over the rise. It's Rivada getting to a narrow lead over Magic Road. Dana Singer coming after them. Old Pharaoh running a bit of a race. Rivada, Magic Road coming again. Dana Singer getting to them. Sprint By coming through in the centre. Dana Singer looks to have got to a narrow lead over Sprint By as they get near home. Juggler is flying late. Sprint By wins the Doncaster from either Dana Singer or Juggler, which flew after being badly held up for a run. Then All Our Mob, Our Marquis and Shame, followed by Catlin Opening, Rivada, Magic Road, Star Dancer, and then Auntie Mary, Pakaraka Star. Pharaoh made a dash and weakened again, followed by Kingston Bay, Classy Fella, Nick's Joy, Bionic Bess and the Penny and Seascape. Magic Road and Rivada, the 2 leaders. Our Marquis in 3rd place. Nick's Joy on the fence, followed by Sprint By, and then Dana Singer. Pharaoh canted wide on the turn. Jugglers on the fence behind a big bunch of horses, followed by All Our Mob, and then Bionic Bess, and well back as Shame as they come over the rise. It's Rivada getting to a narrow lead over Magic Road. Dana Singer coming after them. Old Pharaoh running a bit of a race. Rivada, Magic Road coming again. Dana Singer getting to them. Sprint By coming through in the centre. Dana Singer looks to have got to a narrow lead over Sprint By as they get near home. Juggler is flying late. Sprint By wins the Doncaster from...
What a triumph.
Doncaster. Sprint by Glenn.
Yeah. Have you seen this horse last week? Last Saturday, today? Gay, you're an absolute champion.
Mate, the horse had an injury cloud, but you've always been a great fan of the horse. You've stuck with him through and through in all his races, and it certainly paid off.
You wouldn't believe the day this horse won a maiden at Hawkesbury. I said to Gay, this horse will win a big mile at Ranvet. I had the absolute motherfucking Donny, and here we are. I can't believe it. What a great horse.
Yeah, mate, the Golden Slipper. This year's the Doncaster's a long way from Gympie.
Oh, mate, is it what? I'm never going back.
There he goes, Ken, a very excited Glenn Boss, and he's absolutely over the moon.
I think he'll get
back. Miler, he's won 9 of his 16 starts, and Gay Waterhouse bring off her 3rd consecutive Doncaster. That hasn't been done for 50 years or so. It was a superb effort by Gay Waterhouse, a superb ride by Glenn Boss, and a courageous performance by Sprint Prix.
Run the race 10 times and I think you'd get a different result. I think the point must be that it was Boss's ride that won the race. Juggler, I think, would win 8 out of 10. All our mob, who was 4th, I think, in most, if you rerun the race, would have finished a lot closer. But with these big handicaps, it is the ride. There's Boss in the red colours, about 3 off the fence, angling for a run now, making the run.
It wasn't there for a stride or 2, Max, was it?
That's the point. You've got to make your own luck in these big races, and that's what makes a good jockey.
Coming through in the centre, Dana Singer looks to have got to a narrow lead over Sprint by as they get near.
Juggler 3 off the fence with a white
Sprint
cap.
Sprint by wins the Doncaster.
2 more hops and the Juggler would have won.
So, the early race hockey and $5. Dana Singer 4.30. Juggler $1.90.
Darren, she only had eyes for you.
Dana Singer 4.30. Juggler $1.90.
Darren, she only had eyes for you.
Yeah, she thought probably my horse had the best chance, and I suppose it's a bit hard to keep your eyes all over the track.
Yeah.
He should have won easy, Darren, shouldn't he?
Oh, he should have. I just never got the brakes. The run come 2 strides too late. And I was hoping it was like the Red Sea, but just never opened up.
Well, I'm going to put
the BMW Gay Waterhouse Doncaster.
Well, they can for the last 3 years, but I don't know. You never know until the race is run. But I knew I had a strong hand yesterday. I had 4 very good horses, and was proven by the results that 3 of them filled the placings.
What was your major pick?
Esther Kelly and Usher are fighting it out. Eureka Jewel's after them now. Eureka Jewel is rapidly overhauling Esther Kelly and Usher. Eureka Jewel takes the lead. She's too good, the Victorian filly, and she races away.
Yeah, that was a good Oaks trial by Eureka Jewel, but was it good enough to beat Celius in the Oaks next week, Darren?
Well, they've met before in the Vanity in Melbourne over 1,400 metres, and Celius beat her by 4.5 lengths, and she's certainly got a bit of class, Eureka Jewel, but I think Celius is the more domination filly.
I'm not so sure, right? I'm not so sure. I think Eureka Jewel's improved a lot with the blinkers. She's going pretty good, and I think Ken Bell's a big improver. Celius is the horse to beat, but the Oaks is not a one-horse race.
What do you... Such a great day yesterday at Royal Randwick.
Well, certainly I think John Wheeler may be worth following in South Australia, but also with Brilliant Poet. Denendry, I think, mad, bad, dangerous to be around, but one hell of a lot of ability. And Falante, he's not as good as Octagonal, but he's going to win plenty of races.
Okay, great to have you company.
Just a bit over that, about $8.60 on the Giddy Gate. I'm going for Merlin. I think Simon is going for the Peter Hayes filly Zaya.
Yeah, it's very hard to tip against some of the, I think particularly the fillies. I thought Zaya looked particularly well, but you can't take anything away from Merlin.
In the William English sires, Merlin didn't jump all that well. She might have missed it slightly, and our banker and Barbu's 100. Last Nippet on the outside is just shading into gaze. 2 lengths away, My Duke on the inside of Dashing Eagle, who's obliged to race 3 deep. On the fence, Merlin, followed by Victory Dash, Flavour between horses. On the fence, Zaya Batavian not going well, is being ridden a bit by Dittman. Out deep is our banker, a gap then to Barbu's Boy, followed by Clang and Jezebel. And the Sire's Field is bunching on the turn into gaze and Last Nippet. A length away, Dashing Eagle. Merlin on the fence, waiting for a run as they come over the rise, followed by My Duke, and then Victory Dash on top of the hill. It's into gaze, Dashing Eagle. There's a split now for Merlin. Victory Dash on the outside, running a big race. Zaya coming through near the fence, but Merlin burst to the lead. 100 out is clear of Victory Dash, and Clang is charging along the rail, but the little Danehill filly Merlin is going to do it again, and Merlin, too strong, wins the sires over Clang. My Duke got going again to run 3rd, followed by Flavour, and then Victory Dash, Zaya, into gaze, Dashing Eagle, our banker, Barbu's Boy, Last Nippet, and the last couple are Batavian and Jezebel.
Quite simply, the best filly around, the best 2-year-old around, and that was the story again, as it was in the Golden Slipper. And look at her go, Merlin. She sprinted away on top of the rise, and the others couldn't pick her up. If you've backed her, 240 the win and 140 the place. Clean got along
front too soon, but the good fillies that win the Golden Slipper, they always go on to run well in the size, and she's an outstanding filly, this.
Certainly is, mate.
She's getting out to $5. Legal Agent TAB number 2 at $15. Sequalo at $21. Gold Ace pressing for favouritism. He's exactly showing $5.20 at the moment, which I haven't got on the board. Carptingly at $13. Monopolise at $17. Cut Up Rough at $21. Coburger the Kiwi at $26. Drummers at $21. Sword at $13. I do think he's at good odds, Sword. Identical at $9. Encores $9.50, well in the market.
Squarely, Pimpala Pat stands in nicely, so does Captainly. Gates open, they're off in the Galaxy, all very slow to move. Sword, he took a backward step, and Cut Up Rough is going straight back into the field, the leading division. Moss Rocket is easing back, he's out fairly deep. At the head of the others, Cut Up Rough, and then Pimpala Patch. Identikit, Coburger can't get on the track. A mile back is Gold Ace with Captainly, Monopolised, Drummond. Encores is absolute last as they come around the corner. Into the straight, Sword with the inside running, shares the lead with Blazing Aspect. 3 deep, Sequalo, and then Zed Ritz, Legal Agent on the fence, followed by Krista. Moss Rocket further out as they come over the rise, and then Gold Ace on top of the hill. Sequalo put his head in front of Blazing Aspect. Moss Rocket pounces. Moss Rocket takes the lead past the 200. Here comes Gold Ace. Gold Ace is after Moss Rocket. He's got him. Gold Ace sweeps to the lead 100 metres out, and he is annihilating them. Gold Ace is racing away, and he bolts away with the Galaxy. Identikit got up for second. Third's very tight. Moss Rocket all monopolised, which flew. And then Captainly, Drum, Encores was run off his feet, followed by Sequalo, Coburger, Legal Agent, Pimpala Patch, Cut Up Rough, Sword, and then Krista and Zed Rich and Blazing Aspect as
Moss Rocket. Punters unleashed a torrent of financial support for the Lee Friedman trained galloper, Gold Ace.
A mile back is Gold Ace with Captainly, Monopolised, Drum, and Encores is absolute last as they come around the corner. Into the straight, Sword with the inside running, shares the lead with Blazing Aspect. 3 deep, Sequalo, and then Zed Ritz, Legal Agent on the fence, followed by Krista. Moss Rocket further out as they come over the rise, and then Gold Ace on top of the hill. Sequalo put his head in front of Blazing Aspect. Moss Rocket pounces. Moss Rocket takes the lead past the 200. Here comes Gold Ace. Gold Ace is after Moss Rocket. He's got him. Gold Ace sweeps to the lead 100 metres out, and he is annihilating them. Gold Ace is racing away, and he bolts away with the Galaxy. Identikit got up for second. Third's very tight. Moss answered Australia Galaxy.
Well, just too good, Gold Ace. A top horse, another 3-year-old in this vintage 3-year-old year. As we pick them up, Gold Ace
really made up for it today. A patient ride from Stephen King, a class racehorse.
Yeah, it sure is a class racehorse, Gold Ace. He's now had 12 starts for 6 wins, 3 seconds and a third. He was ridden by Stephen King. I think Harry Troy might have caught up with the AJC Oaks, the Fillies Derby. Simon, what do you like?
Well, some of these fillies look absolutely super, Ken, but I still think it's a race in 2 between Celius and Eureka Jewel. Pat Hyland should be congratulated on the condition of his filly.
So I'm going for a roughie, Ken Bell, but I am scared of Eureka Jewel. Here we go. Number 1, Celius, $2.10. That means just better than even money. I sold her at $41, Alacrity $51, Eureka Jewel, a clear-cut second favourite, $4 exactly. $11 for Hello Dale, $61 Arctic Scent, $26 the Lion's Roar, $13 Ken Bell, $40.
Starting at the 200 metres pole, 200 to the judge and 1 complete circuit of the track, and they're off in the Oaks. A good start. And towards the middle, Hello Dale and Bravo Zulu broke in front. 800 mark, and it's I Solder just the leader over Military Call. The Lion's Roar in 3rd place. Broaching's had a pretty tough run, 3 and 4 deep. And then Ken Bell on the inside of Esther Kelly. Celius 3 wide within 4 lengths of the lead as they come towards the turn. Further back, Nightclub followed by Hello Dale. Eureka Jewel 3 widest, tracking up behind Celius. A gap to Golden Vine, and then Usher followed by Bravo Zulu. What's happened to Celius here? Celius seemed to collide with another runner, and she speared right off the track on the turn into the straight. She's gone, Celius, as they come over the rise, and Ken Bell swept to the lead in the bright pink colours and raced away from I Solder. Eureka Jewel is running on, followed by Esther Kelly. Ken Bell clear. Here comes Eureka Jewel. Eureka Jewel is going after Ken Bell. Ken Bell still in front. Eureka Jewel is trying her heart out. Ken Bell is hanging on to that lead, though, and Ken Bell wins the Oaks for the South Coast. Ken Bell beat Eureka Jewel. A distant third, I Solder. followed by Arctic Scent, and then Just a Runner, Alacrity, Esther Kelly, Bravo Zulu, well back Nightclub, Golden Vine, at the head of the others, Hello Dale, followed by Usher, and then the lines roar. Something happened to Celius on the turn, and she ran right off the track, and the last couple of...
In the AJC Australian Oaks 2 weeks later at Ranvet.
What's happened to Celius here? Celius seemed to collide with another runner, and she speared right off the track on the turn into the straight. She's gone, Celius, as they come over the rise, and Ken Bell swept to the lead in the bright pink colours and raced away from Isolde. Eureka Jewel is running on, followed by Esther Kelly. Ken Bell clear. Here comes Eureka Jewel. Eureka Jewel is going after Ken Bell. Ken Bell still in front. Eureka Jewel is trying her heart out. Ken Bell is hanging on to that lead, though, and Ken Bell wins the Oaks for the South Coast.
Perfect ride here.
Max, I'm not sure whether it was the Oaks or a demolition derby at Randwick Speedway.
What, Keith, you're not insinuating there that our racing is rough?
Yeah, but that's obvious reference to Celius?
Yes, well, Celius, I mean, I think she was a beaten filly at the time, so it pushed her back to 12th at the finish. But gosh, it was rough there. That's Ken Bell winning, giving Justin Sheehan and
any query about it seemed the going was better in the middle of the track, about drawing one and getting stuck on the paint and not being able to get out there?
Yeah, well, I said it to the owners. I said, well, we've drawn one. It is an advantage. We're probably going to have to go through the worst going for quite some time, but we've got to stick to the paint. And then when I get a look at them, you know, I will try and venture out and seek better ground.
With that race.
Now, Gold Sovereign is the last one to move up on the outside of the field, and they're all set and ready for dispatch in the swept Sydney Cup. Well clear as they go around the top turn. They go around the top turn at the 900 marquee, led by 3 to the Bandette. Racing Riders in third spot, then Electronic and Tennessee Oakers looming up 3 deep as they go over the crossing. Cornwall King on the inside of Beaux-Art. They're starting to bunch, followed by Count Chivas and then Carla Chief. Well back as Brilliant Poet from Spiritual Star, Ceto Bridge and Dark Czar. The Bandette on the outside has raced up with Cornwall King. Now they've headed off Gold Sovereign. Electronic is hard-ridden. Tennessee Oaks about 5 deep on the turn. Beaux-Art is waiting behind those leaders, looking for a run, followed by Count Chivas as they turn for home, and there are 4 leaders now. It's Tennessee Oaks, the Bandette, Cornwall King, Electronic between horses coming over the rise. Here's Count Chivas. Count Chivas taken to the extreme outsiders, coming after them, followed by Brilliant Poet and the Old Grey Spiritual Star running a bit of a race. Count Chivas hit the lead in the Cup inside the 200. The Bandette is sticking to him, but Count Chivas gets the upper hand close to home. Stephen King has ridden this with the patience of Job, and Count Chivas draws away to win the Cup over the Bandette. Beaux-Art will get third, I think, just in front of Spiritual Star, followed by Brilliant Poet. Electronic weakened out of it, and then Dark Czar, Cornwall King weakened, followed by Tennessee Oak a long way back.
Major rivals.
Beaux-Art is waiting behind those leaders, looking for a run, followed by Count Chivas as they turn for home, and there are 4 leaders now. It's Tennessee Oak, the Bandette, Cornwall King, Electronic between horses coming over the rise. Here's Count Chivas. Count Chivas taken to the extreme outsiders, coming after them, followed by Brilliant Poet and the Old Grey Spiritual Star running a bit of a race. Count Chivas hit the lead in the Cup inside the 200. The Bandette is sticking to him, but Count Chivas gets the upper hand close to home. Stephen King has ridden this with the patience of Job, and Count Chivas draws away to win the Cup over the Bandette. Sydney Cup.
In 160, the Bandette number 13 second will pay $4, and the other...
He was the class act. He was all alone. He was just head and shoulders above his rivals. One of the most impressive and dominant Sydney Cup wins for a long time.
Greg Hall would be ruining his suspension at the moment. Stephen King has really done the job over the last 6 or 7 days for Lee Friedman.
Yes, I think Greg Hall would be ruining the $50,000 and the legal fees.
And it has any substance anyway, because it was Count Shiva's race. The win of Count Shiva's surely was a premature Melbourne Cup trial, but looking back through records, horses like Galilee in the mid-60s have won both Cups, but the last horse to win a Sydney Cup and then go on and win the Melbourne Cup in the same calendar year was Carbine in 1890. So
you were there, Max, weren't you?
Max was there, and he wasn't in short pants.
But the point is, the runner-up here, Bandette, is a very interesting horse too. Only having his 10th start, and obviously he's a stayer to be watched very closely with a top man, John Wheeler, who knows how to get the best out of stayers, out of any horses actually.
Looked like Shivers Regal against some home brew in the finish.
Class, it does tell, and here you're going to get an example of that. Note the horse in the dark colours coming along the fence now. That's Beaux-Art, another who normally doesn't handle rain-affected tracks, and Beaux-Art is in the worst part of the ground there yesterday.
Strong win, reasonably well weighted with hindsight, and a little bit of a...
He did, so that did help him.
Electronic, mate, can't run 2 miles?
Couldn't run the 2 miles. She had every chance yesterday too, and just struggled with it. And the winner was just far too good.
A bit hard on it.
Start came out in a...
Just far too good.
A bit hard on it.
Start came out in a beautiful line. It'll be hard to find an early leader. One of them is Stony Bay. Catlin Opening very tightly. Stony Bay is rounded up quickly by Flying Spur. Flying Spur leads into the straight over Kidman's Cove and the old boy Pharaoh on the outside. Followed by Sprint By, then Catlin Opening and Our Marquise as they top the rise. Stephen King sitting as quiet as a mouse on Flying Spur. Now he says go, and last year's Golden Slipper winner exploded clear. Sprint By getting into second place, followed by Catlin Opening and Kidman's Cove, but it's all Flying Spur. Group 1 win number 68 coming up for the Freedmans, and another big one for Stephen King. Flying Spur trotted in the All-Age Stakes. Sprint By got second, Catlin Opening third. Real by Flying Spur. Flying Spur leads into the straight over Kidman's Cove and the old boy Pharaoh on the outside. Followed by Sprint By, then Catlin Opening and Our Marquise as they top the rise. Stephen King sitting as quiet as a mouse on Flying Spur. Now he says go, and last year's Golden Slipper winner exploded clear. Sprint By getting into second place, followed by Catlin Opening and Kidman's Cove, but it's all Flying Spur. Group 1 win number 68 coming up for the Freedmans, and another big one for Stephen King. Flying Spur trotted in the All-Age Stakes. Sprint By got second, Catlin Opening.
This was arguably...
Stakes. Sprint By got second, Catlin Opening.
This was arguably the finest individual performance by any horse for the entire autumn, with the exciting...
A real good horse. Mike Spur's magnificent win in the AWA All-Age Stakes had some of the gloss taken off it because of the tragic breakdown of March Hare, who faltered halfway down the straight. He was humanely destroyed at about 6 o'clock last night. He suffered a fracture of the off-fore fetlock joint and cannon bone, and it was just impossible for the veterinarians to save March Hare. To the Crutch family, our commiserations on the loss of a mighty horse, and Johnny Morris's quote is this: he was a wonderfully genuine competitor and a true gentleman in the stable.
Where he shouldn't have in races. If he was a horse that could settle, how good would he be?
Well, I mean, we were discussing last night, we probably made a mistake by not taking the blinkers off after the Futurity in Melbourne. And we're of the opinion that had we done that, he probably would have gone through this preparation unbeaten. He's nearly as good a horse as we've trained.
You don't do that to a field, do you?
In the Stradbroke, like Michael, you have 2 chances, Gold Ace and, of course, Flying Spur. Which one?
Bit difficult. I'd probably have to say Gold Ace.
Oh, right. All together, and Flying Spur looks likely to go to Brisbane for the rich sprints up there. But I do think that the Freedman brothers would like another crack at him next season. But this is the real Flying Spur, and it's good to see that finally he has got his act together. Let's hope he can keep it that way, because this is just what a good horse he can be on his day.
Yeah, there's the Golden Slipper Flying Spur, back to his best and beating a great sprinter mile or two in Sprint By. You may have caught a glimpse just at the back of the screen there of March Hare breaking down hopelessly. We lost March Hare from that race yesterday, and that was quite tragic, Max.
Maxie, a few for the people at home. Ken Bell, trained by Kevin Robinson. Perhaps Kevin doesn't figure all that much in the Group 1 successes, but a great trainer. You saw that yesterday. Eureka Jewel, another lightly raced filly who will get better, and the Bandit JW's go, and certainly the Bandit could win a race like the Brisbane Cup. Okay, Max, thanks for your...
So I expect a big run from him.
Enough to make you switch?
No, I'm still with Clang. Don't forget Denendry.
Here we go with the prices. Clang is out now to $4.20. My Duke is into $3. Might come in a fraction more. Bookies have got him shorter. Babu's Boy at $8.50. Anthems at $4, out to $4.40. $4.50 almost. $26 Victory Dash. $17 into Gaze. Bolster is the roughie of the field at $34. And Denendry, I agree with Simon. I think she's got a hope. She's at $6.50.
Amber Light winking on top. They're off in the Champagne. Dan Hendry didn't begin well. She took a backward step and missed her the length or more. Fast as they near the turn. Victory Dash first into the straight over into Gaze. My Duke is 3 deep on the turn. And then Clang and Dan Hendry followed by Bolster with Anthems on the fence and Babu's Boy as last as they come over the rise. Victory Dash is quickly rounded up by Into Gaze. My Duke on the outside taking a while to hit top gear, and they're clear of Clang, and Anthems is running on strongly at the 200. Into Gaze still in front. He won't give up. He's fighting back. He's clear of My Duke, and getting home fast is Anthems, who's going to fly to the line. Intergaze in front as they get near home, and Intergaze wins the Champagne Stakes without the rings. Anthems got second, My Duke third, followed by Clang, Dan Endry. Well back in the field, Babu's Boy and the last couple of Victory Dash and Bolster in the Mowatt Chandon Champagne for 96.
Walker, and that is and that's the key factor here, tempo. While there's been tempo on other races, this was run at a dawdling tempo, and Shane Dye gave a long start here and just couldn't quite pick up the leaders. He again dropped out to last on Anthem, and there he is trying to poke through on the inside of My Duke, going out now after Intergaze, but the tempo was all wrong for back markers, and Intergaze, with Glenn Boss judging the pace to a nicety, was able to win.
Would you get as far back on Anthems?
I think I would have gone forward, but I was always going to be 3 wide if I'd gone forward, and he's such a relaxed horse, and I think he might make a Derby winner next preparation. He's going to be very hard to beat in the size and the Castlemine, and he's one of the best 2-year-olds, staying 2-year-olds. I've ridden that horse. I got a lot.
Take a look at the Queen Elizabeth Stakes, Group 1. They're under starters' orders. Has the button and they're ready to break, and they're off. Good start, and one of the first out is Juggler from the inside barrier. Bionic Best began well. Pindy scrubbed along in search of the lead. Dana Singer coming over quickly. Deremus immediately dropped out last. 600 out, Sober Suit the leader over Next Joy. Pindy's had a cushy run, so has Dana Singer fourth, followed by Juggler from All Our Mob, and then Corndale the Penny. Deremus is going to be pushed about 4 deep on the turn, further back Bionic Bess, and then Super Slew and Auntie Mary is last as they turn for home. Coming around the corner at the 400 mark, Sober Suit is tackled by the Epsom winner Next Joy. Next Joy takes the lead on top of the rise. Here's Juggler. Juggler into the clear after him quickly, followed by All Our Mob, and wider out Deremus running on very strongly. Juggler hit the lead past the 200. Deremus coming down the outside though is thundering home. Deremus is coming after Juggler. Deremus put paid to Juggler in 2 strides, takes the lead and races away to score a brilliant win. Deremus comes from last to beat Juggler. Super Slew has run a big race at long odds for third.
Raymond Shane Dye.
Coming around the corner at the 400 mark, Sober Suit is tackled by the Epsom winner Next Joy. Next Joy takes the lead on top of the rise. Here's Juggler. Juggler into the clear after him quickly, followed by All Our Mob, and wider out Deremus running on very strongly. Juggler hit the lead past the 200. Deremus coming down the outside though is thundering home. Deremus is coming after Juggler. Deremus put paid to Juggler in 2 strides, takes the lead and races away to score a brilliant win.
Deremus was group
third.
On Deremus in the Queen Elizabeth, Shane Dye. How are you, mate?
What a fantastic win by him, and he's going to be very hard to beat in the Doomben Cup.
How did he feel in running?
Unbelievable. I couldn't believe it at the half mile when I just want him to go forward, and I asked him to get up behind All Our Mob, and I can see how he won a Caulfield and Melbourne Cup now.
And Juggler has to be content with another minor placing.
Yeah, he can't beat Deremus in the Doomben Cup, but I think they may set him for the Stradbroke now, back to 1400. And I thought a very good run in the race was Super Slew, Simon. From a Derby point of view, sensational run.
Certainly. Bit of superimpose about the win.
It was a touch of supers about him, wasn't there, mate? Yeah, no, it was brilliant. And when he emerged in the last 200, it really sent chills down the spine.
Best autumn you've ever had in Sydney?
Oh, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. It's been marvellous, and particularly here at Ranvet. I mean, this has been the best Ranvet carnival we've ever had.
Big things to come in Brisbane?
Well, I hope so. This horse has had hardly any racing, and he's hitting form at the right time. He looks a really good chance in a race like the Doomben Cup now.
Probably has finally stood up. It's had its setbacks leading up to this race, but certainly showed its class. And I know that you were very, very impressed with this one.
Yeah, well, again, it was a matter of tempo, David, but this is the sign of a real top-class horse. It was the Queen Elizabeth was run in race record time. The pace up front allowed Deremus to really stay on. There he is charging down the outside, and it's a good training feat for Lee Friedman to get Deremus back after an arduous Cup campaign in the spring. And look at Juggler. Juggler, very game, very consistent, but I just don't think over the distances like a mile and a quarter he's quite in the calibre of Deremus.
Okay, speaking about bring on Octagonal after the run, Lee's, I think it might have been on spur of the moment, because personally, I think when they clash, I'm not underestimating Deremus. He's a great horse, 2 cups and yesterday's weight for age graduation, but I think Octagonal will spank his rump, Max, if they meet.
You are getting carried away. This is a very good racehorse. Octagonal's got to make the transition from 3-year-old to 4-year-old, which has dulled some outstanding 3-year-olds in the past. We know he's better than an outstanding 3-year-old Deremus, Octagonal, but I do think that Deremus will supply worthwhile opposition.
Okay, towards the Doomben Cup next month?
Well, he's just peaking, and obviously the Freedman magic in setting a horse for a given carnival is starting to pay off again.
Well, you've got him in the little black book, Max, I know.
Yes, Anthems too. Anthems should have just about won the Champagne Stakes yesterday. He's going to Brisbane, and Linesman, tough, hard stayer, really peaking at the right time, and only one of the major autumn cups.
In New Zealand, there are 2 Group 1 races for the juveniles. The first of these is the Manawatu Sires Produce Stakes at Awapuni.
From Love to Dance, challenging hotly on the outside. Fleur de Sheen over on the inside of the 2, and then Genuine Strike. They've drawn right away from them, Proving Emerald Cut. It is Love to Dance in front of the 200 metres. From now second on the outside is Genuine Strike, and then Fleur de Sheen. Love to Dance clear. Coming home well is Genuine Strike. Love to Dance. She loves to shake, rattle and roll the opposition, and the Sires. She's a star. Love to Dance.
Love to Dance was the second successive daughter of the now Australian-based stallion City Dancer to win this race, following on from Ballroom Babe in 1985. Love to Dance handled the soft conditions nicely under the guidance of Philip Mercer to win by half a length. The Ellerslie Sires Produce on April 8th was a rematch of the Manawatu conflict between Love to Dance and Lord Ted.
But Love to Dance in front. Lord Ted's coming hard, followed by Emerald Cut. In behind them, Kate Amers running on from Bozil and Davita Star. She switched into overdrive. Love to Dance in front and shot a length and a half clear from Lord Ted. On the inside now is Emerald Cut. Love to Dance. Lord Ted is levelled on the outside, and Lord Ted has mastered the favourite Love to Dance, and Lord Ted has won it. Love to Dance second, Emerald Cut 3 lengths away third. Followed to be
Lord Ted made maximum improvement from Awapuni, turning a half-length defeat into a sparkling 2-length victory.
Easterfield now raked mates towards a turn, 450 to go, and Redsen hugging the inside from B-Boss and Marconi. They're followed by Roy's Boy. Here's My Quota with a big run down the extreme outside. Cactus Jack, Perfect World, followed by Chosen Ace. B-Boss, Cactus Jack got through on the inside, Marconi and My Quota with Roy's Boy. They're 200 metres out in the sleepyhead Easter Handicap, and it's Cactus Jack in front from Roy's Boy. A late run by Magnet Bay. It's fair flying on the outside, going towards the line. Cactus Jack has got it.
Cactus Jack gained the photo decision by a half head from Magnet Bay, with a number of the better-known runners simply not handling the conditions. Cactus Jack
Carnival. Yesterday, feature event, the Foster's Cup over 1,200 metres. Chief De Beers the favourite here at the closing stages.
But he's raced to the front, Chief De Beers. He's in front of Moss Rocket, Gold Ace near the fence and Monopolise running home. But Chief De Beers dash well clear past the 200. Monopolise and Gold Ace running home. But Chief De Beers in front with 50 metres to go. He's a fair dinkum wizard in the wet, Chief De Beers. He's getting a bit tired, but he's won the money. Chief De Beers beat the fast finishing Monopolise, third Gold Ace, then Encores. Further back on the...
Well, Chief De Beers yesterday showing how much he likes the Doomben track, but he's never won away from there.
Yes, he's had 18 runs at Doomben, 12 wins and 6 minor placings. Yesterday, it was the aptly named Foster's Cup. Chief De Beers wins. He was a 7-4 favourite. He had everything in his favour yesterday because he loves the wet. Monopolise storms home, gets very close to him at the end. But he can handle dry too, Chief De Beers. He won the Doomben 10,000 last year. I wonder whether he can do it back-to-back, Max.
No, I wonder. I'll be gambling against him. He's a very good racehorse, but I wonder just how much the ploy of Mick Dittman in scouting for the really good ground out wide, how much that contributed to yesterday's win. I like the run of Gold Ace. We know he's good, but we never knew just how good he was on a heavy track before. He wouldn't have been as seasoned for those conditions as Chief De Beers, and given any sort of a surface, I want to be on Gold Ace next time.
Well, the three could probably shape up again in the 10,000, so that should be an absorbing clash, but you'd go towards the Freedman horse?
Yeah, the 3-year-old. I do think there's more scope for implies 2 will get better. But I don't know, I think on his day, Gold Ace is something special.
Well, the rail highlighted by the Schweppes Australasian Oaks, and it's hard to believe this was the first Group 1 winner prepared by the Hayes clan in Adelaide, in their hometown, since Walter Boatman won the Cup in 1990. Let's pick them up as they near the turn in the Australasian Oaks.
Innocent Affair will lead them to the home turn, and the sweeps Australasian Oaks at Group 1 level by a length and a half, nearly 2. In second place in Classic Allure, head away on the inside. Unpretentious has had a good run at the 600. They go now. Esther Kelly revs up behind those, and then 2.5 to top ratio. They're quickening considerably. Over on the outside, Miss Margaret warming to her task, followed further back, but not on Friday. Princess Quilla, the rail out wide like a smile, and then came Gaelic Joy. Unpretentious got a dream run in the straight and went through to lead. Classic Allure out wide as they come to the 200. Still their Innocent Affair, and here's Like a Smile starting to zoom at them out deep. She's sprinting home. Like a Smile has revved up very quickly, and it's Group 1 success for Peter Hayes at his home headquarters. Like a Smile spears away to win easily. It developed into a silly sprint home, and she's...
Yes, commentary.
It developed into a rail out wide like a smile, and then came Gaelic Joy. Unpretentious got a dream run in the straight and went through to lead. Classic Allure out wide as they come to the 200. Still their Innocent Affair, and here's Like a Smile starting to zoom at them out deep. She's sprinting home. Like a Smile has revved up very quickly, and it's Group 1 success for Peter Hayes at his home headquarters. Like a Smile spears away to win easily.
Like a Smile is by the 1986 Melbourne Cup winner at Telek, a son of the internationally...
Developed into a silly sprint home, and she's just rounded it off beautifully from Miss Margaret, a Hayes Quinella. Esther Kelly might have got up for third with Unpretentious, who didn't finish.
Simon picked him up in one impression.
Yes, he certainly was, and the stable in Adelaide have an enormous opinion of Like a Smile, as they do of Miss Margaret, but Like a Smile probably a few percent better yesterday, and that was very, very impressive.
Peter yesterday not only won the race...
He could it up with Miss Margaret.
With Miss Margaret. Now, this is a filly we wondered whether she was ready for 2,000 metres because she had not raced beyond 1,500 metres. To my eye, she looks now ready for the South Australian Oaks, which is an extra 400 metres.
We've got to check there on the turn too, Max.
To my eye, that was classed with a capital C. Obviously been trained for this carnival, obviously will get better, and obviously will be a worthy rival to the top-class fillies like Celius and Ken Bell, the sort of horses that we were saying were outstanding as far as the fillies were concerned.
You're obviously practising your spelling too, Max.
Well, the big wet continues in Brisbane, and here's the latest from my good mate Alan Thomas.
Both Eagle Farm and Doomben have been saturated with 600 mils or 24 inches of rain this week. It's brought about the cancellation of all provincial racing, but more importantly, we lost yesterday's Guineas meeting at Eagle Farm, almost $500,000 in prize money lost, and the Labor Day...
And it looks like it's not going to stop either.
What about the 10,000 meeting next Saturday? Is that in jeopardy now?
You could say it may be in jeopardy now, Alan, because of the rain does not look like it's going to let up. And if we don't let up, and if we don't...
Let's pick them up at the 600 metres mark.
There's only 4 lengths first to last now. My golly, what a traffic jam. Coming to the turn now, Payback Time has taken a marginal lead here from Exotic View, who'll drop back through the field. Over on the outside, joining in now, is St Shannon, and then Hurricane Storm, and out wide is Cheviot. National Asset joining in. Skybow is coming very deep, and Emery is there too. But in the straight, St Shannon goes up now to Payback Time. Hurricane Storm switches to the inside. Wider out is Cheviot, running a terrific race. 200 to go in the Malaysia Airlines Derby, and Cheviot's gone up to take the lead from Payback Time and Hurricane Storm. Payback Time coming again at Cheviot. Cheviot in front, though, close to home. And Cheviot, by the ill-fated sire average game, has taken a classic. It's Cheviot's Derby.
Now, that horse is going straight into the paddock, Shane, and I believe they're looking at the Caulfield and Melbourne Cups.
I think the form out of the race won't be that strong. Like in previous years, we've had horses like this year's as strong. And I like this run of Skybow in the race. He was back, wide, and still kept finding the line. But I don't think there's as much depth in it this year as there has been.
As of the South Australian Oaks a fortnight later. With Like a Smile having gone for a spell, the Australasian Oaks runner-up, Miss Margaret, was an obvious favourite.
And they were followed by Newtown Pike and Arctic sent into the clear, Unpretentious wide, followed by Innocent Affair, Classic Allure, Royal Cabin, Esther Kelly, well back with Country Walk. Clearly Supreme defies them at the 200, though. Still a length and a half in front. Now Miss Margaret joins in with Not on Friday in the centre, but Margie's let go at the 150, and it's all over. Miss Margaret has shot away in the Sizzler Oaks at Group 1 level, and after a beautiful ride in transit, goes home to score for Simon Price, a length and a half. Second place.
The star of South Australian Oaks Day was undoubtedly trainer Peter Hayes, enjoying his first season as the trainer for the Lindsay Park Empire. Hayes led in the winning trifecta in the South Australian Classic: Miss Margaret, Clearly Supreme, and Not on Friday.
They're set to run again. He missed the start, Chief to Be, as he came out last. Wide out green sweeper, the Victoria Park, and last of all is Loader. 500 metres to go. Quick return, went to the lead from green sweeper. Chief to Be is about to pounce on the outside as they neared the corner, followed by Suntain. Then Pimpala Sun, Cutler Shane working through the field, and then Persian Flyer and Monopolised pulled out with Encores. In the straight, and Suntain went to the lead. Chief to Be is in second spot, followed by Quick Return, Pimpala Sun, and here's Encores coming home on the outside of the 200. Suntain the leader. Encores and Monopoliser trying hard to pick up Suntain, then Shame, but Suntain's in front with 100 to go. Encores is making up a lot of ground late, but he won't get Suntain, and Suntain has beaten Encores. Third's a photo. Loader flew with Persian Flyer, close up Quick Return and Monopolise, then Flight to Fantasy followed by Shame, then Pimpala Sun followed by Cutler Victoria Park. Chief De Beers has finished second last, and he was never ever going to win, and last was Green Sweeper.
Eventually, on an exceptionally heavy track, the meeting went ahead. Not surprisingly, the list of horses that didn't handle the conditions was an exceptionally long one.
Chief De Beers making a dash quickly on the outside. Suntain is with them, followed by Green Sweeper on the inside, and then Pimpata Sun. Further back is Shame, and then Cutler and Persian Flyer sticking to the inside. Monopolised coming wide, and so is Encores. Suntain is the leader in the straight, 300 metres to go. Chief De Beers struggling to get to him. Quick return on the inside. Here's Encores flying home out wide. Suntain is in front. They've got 150 metres to go. I don't know whether they're going to catch him. Encores is flying home now. Suntain in front. Encores trying hard to get to him. He can't get there, no. Suntain won the 10,000. Suntain first.
Back in the autumn of 9.
You don't ever know. Look, Chief De Beers, you've got to be disappointed, especially the, I suppose, the people that backed it. Was an effort that I think the horse just wasn't right. Breaking through the barrier and getting a bit of shock early on is probably cost him running a good race.
Simon, I thought Loader's run was the run of the race. He made up a lot of ground in the straight, and I'm sure he's the horse they've all got to beat in the Stradbroke, and his form in New Zealand has been outstanding, along with also Persian Flyer's run and Encores in the race.
Asked him to explain. Chief De Beers
covered more territory than Vasco da Gama. And you should have won the Stradbroke.
And you were on it, were you?
Yes. Unfortunately, I didn't lay the odds on Juggler, but I think the merit in this performance, Wayne, is just the last furlong and a half that this horse produces. I'm not saying he's beating anything of merit, but by gee, the way he's lengthened there, he's a top-class racehorse, this bloke.
He's very, very good, Max. He was pitchforked into the race, really, with just 55.5 kilos on his back, but he showed his real class over... I told you before that I spoke with him after Juggler's win. He said he was kind to him as he possibly could be, because he realises he's got that big assignment coming up next week, the Doomben Cup, in which he'll be taking on the Melbourne Cup winner, Deremus. Now, it's going to be...
more competitive than Vicky Will. $30,000 Hollandale Cup, Larry Cassidy rode Super Slew to victory.
In the straight and sober suit, led up the 300. Super Slew off the fence to tackle him, followed by Stony Bay, and then Crying Game, and here comes all our mob on the outside. But Super Slew and Sober Suit together, 200 to go. Valence and all our mob and Crying Game are trying hard, but Super Slew, he got away with 100 to go. Valence going into second spot, but it's Super Slew. Super Slew went home to beat Valence third.
Next of time go on, though, and the good news was for Gay Waterhouse. Yet again, picking up another big race, the Prime Minister's Cup, going to electronic.
The big crowd which turned out at the Gold Coast for the Prime Minister's Cup sent Darbas out a 5-2 favourite. The Group 1 winner, Electronic, on the next line of betting at 7-2. Racing in Tommy Smith's famous blue and green colours, Electronic was trapped 3 wide for much of the race, but still had too much class in the run home.
But Electronic, it was never on the track, but it's in front with 50 metres to go from Magnet Bay and Low Mass. Electronic's just in front. What a performance. Electronic has won the Prime Minister's...
Both part owner Tommy, which is always good asset. A galloper Hariba showed glimpses of his best form in running a close second to Mamselle Padrille in the Carbine Club Handicap.
Hariba's running to the middle of the track of the 200. He's under the whip, and Mamselle Padrille is scooting up near the fence. Hariba the leader. Mamselle Padrille is trying hard to pick up Hariba, but the big horse Hariba's just in front. Mamselle Padrille's going to grab him. Mamselle Padrille got to the lead. Mamselle Padrille beat Hariba.
It was the Group 1 Goodwood Handicap, And
on the Goodwood, Sport Speed a little bit slow to begin with Rolene and Lindbergh, and also another one a bit slow to get into stride there initially was Centile. Away very fast up forward, looking for the lead is Sword. In the straight, the race, Paddington End head Sword. Wide out, here comes Mad Chevelle looming up at them, and now Scorn Boulders into the clear, starting to put in a big finish. Further back behind those then Lord Matthew, Lindbergh the bolt of the rail, but it's Sword in front with 100 to go. Sword is glistening, he's holding on from Scorn Bold, coming quickly, Lord Matthew, Sword in front, and Sword takes the Goodwood. Sword got home.
Yeah, congratulations to Jack Denham and to Chris Muntz, who was in Adelaide for the first time in his life.
Former Queensland rider Chris Muntz, his second Group 1 of the season. 2 days later, Adelaide puts on her biggest day of racing for the year with a running of the $300,000 Group 1 Adelaide Cup.
Right down the outside, French Resort is starting to put in her claim, and then Ceto Bridge, they fan across the track now, and it's now going to the front section. French Resort out wide has raced up to hit the front with 200 to go. French Resort section, late on the scene out wide, Gate War, but this bonny little mare, French Resort in front. Skybow is coming home like a train, but French Resort's in front. She's got a head out, she extends, and it's Colin Alderson's Cup. French Resort by 3/4. Second.
A popular result for one of the quiet achievers of Victorian racing, the Cranbourne-based Colin Alderson. The mare was ridden a perfect waiting race by local jockey Jason Stubby Holder. For breeding buffs, French Resort was the...
Deremus began okay, and so too did Juggler and Stony Bay over near the inside, the first to come out. Private Label began well, and Juggler's going up, and so too is Delinquent when they settle. Crying Game on the fence, Oppressor going up deep from All Our Mob, followed by Star Maker. Auntie Mary drifting back, followed by No Belotto, and Deremus is last. To the corner, 500 to run. Delinquent on the outsides, just in front of Stony Bay, and Jugglers camp right on the hammer. A length and a half to Crying Game, and then Deremus pulled to the outside, and then came All Out Mob making ground. Around the turn, the 3-year-old Delinquent is the leader. Jugglers gone up to join him, All Out Mob, and now Deremus is coming with a big run on the outside. Gay Waterhouse and Juggler hit the front of the 200. All Out Mob in the middle, Deremus on the outside. It's Juggler the leader with 100 metres to go. Deremus is trying hard to pick him up. Juggler in front. Deremus is not going to get him. Beatman throwing everything at Juggler, and Juggler wins the cup. Juggler beat Deremus. Third All Our Mob, and Gay Waterhouse 1 and 3. Behind
well, Eagles one.
On the home turn of the Doomben Cup, Delinquent's gone to the lead. Juggler's coming after him. Stony Bay still there. Here comes Deremus down the outside with All Out Mob. Juggler hit the front. 300 metres to go. Juggler in front, a length clear. Deremus is coming after him on the outside with All Out Mob. Juggler's still in front, 150 to go. Deremus trying hard to get to him. Juggler's the leader. He's holding Deremus. Deremus can't get there. Juggler's too good. Juggler first. Deremus second. All Out Mob third. But it is
the Doomben
House 1 and 3.
Well, Eagle Stages still look like winning halfway down the straight. What do you think?
Enormous run. I don't know how he ran second, because as far out as 1,200, 1,400 metres from home, he was never travelling and he was never going to win, and it was only his courage that he ran second.
Say something now.
Yes, I will. I think Juggler's a very good horse, John. I think it's not as good as Octagonal, but it's a very good horse. And Deremus, yes, as Shane said, didn't handle the track. I think there's more to be seen. But one thing with Deremus, an interesting superimpose, he's obviously in his big races is going to race very similar to that. He's just, I suppose, got to watch it, because he's a horse that wants to flow on, as you said the other week, and he's got to watch in the big fields that he doesn't have to come too wide. That gives him no hope, especially chasing class horses like Juggler.
Well, it hasn't worried him before, but I think yesterday the puggy ground, he couldn't get through it, and when he won the Caulfield Melbourne Cup, it rained on the day and the track was loose, and he got through it, but yesterday he couldn't get through that ground because it was very, very gluey, and there's no doubt he's a Cox Plate horse, both of them, Juggler and Deremus.
Broke that Group 1 drought at Brisbane yesterday. Yes, and Juggler is a top racehorse. Again, I've got to take my hat off to Gay. She said, regardless, we'll beat Deremus. I think it was Darren Beedman actually beating Deremus.
Yeah, superb ride, Keith, from Beedman again on Juggler.
He's a very good horse. He's getting better. Deremus seemed to give Juggler just too much start, but as you look at the finish, Juggler's holding him, to my mind.
But had to work much harder, Keith. That was the key to it. Beedman was able to give Juggler a cuddle. Di had to get ferocious. with Deremus as far as 800, 900 metres out, and he just could not sustain the momentum required.
Keith, you've just nominated linesman?
Yes, well, I do think that the horses like Gold Ace was a top run yesterday, Anthems, and I'm not burying Deremus on that run. I think Deremus is still a horse to follow.
OK.
By many as a full dress rehearsal for the Queensland Derby. Here's the action.
To the next corner, 950 out. Delinquent, the pacemaker, just Amigo second. Super Slew, the favourites, travelling third. The fence turned into the straight, and Darren Beedman couldn't wait anymore. He took off on Super Slew and into the straight. Delinquent, the leader, joined by Super Slew, which is racing erratically. They're followed by Faience on the outside, and then Revenge. Super Slew in front, 300 out. Faience has gone up to him, 2 lengths away. Revenge, and then came the pick and Valance, but Faience went straight past Super Slew. Valance is coming with a big run on the outside. Faience in front. Valance is trying hard to pick him up. Faience is dying. Valance won't have enough time, and Faience wins the Grand Prix from Valance. Third home, Super Slew. Then came Battle Wild.
Gee, the run of the second horse stood out like a cocktail bar in the Sinai Desert, Shane Day.
There's no doubt he should have won. He's the horse they got to beat in the Derby. Mick Dittman couldn't give him enough raps, and I think Valance will win the Derby.
How do you see it, Si?
To do it, 1,400 to 2,200 in 12 days.
Well,
in 12 days.
Well, who am I to question John Hawkes? Someone said that the other day, and that's the exact answer I gave. He's the boss, and what he thought was the...
Well, I knew the horse could sprint, but it surprised me how quickly I picked him up, and in the end, I got there too soon. And, you know, if you watch the replay, he's got his ears pricked from about the 300 where I got to the front, and he was sort of half trying to pull up.
Valance, did you...
The QTC Cup, Group 2, terrific race yesterday at Eagle Farm. We're going to pick up the action from barrier to box and the commentary by Alan Thomas.
Ready to go. And they're off. Oh, Loader missed the kick off the inside gate. He's last away. Mamselle Padrille first out, and Suntain began quickly. Hariba's going fast with Ruslan and out. 1 metres mark, and the big horse Hariba the leader. Coburger second, Chief to be is third, then Mamselle Padrille fourth on the inside of Suntain. A length away, Rivada around Captain Lee, followed by You Remember. On the fences, Loader followed by Ruslan, then Cohort, Encores followed by Drum. A long way back as Taos and Persian Flyer, and Telesto as last as they round the corner into the straight, and Hariba is the leader. He's a length in front of Coburger. Chief to be is pulled to the outside, then Mamselle Padrille. A length away, Suntain. Captain Lee pulled out to make a run, and then Loader. Hariba's in front, 300 out. Chief to be is Suntain. Coburger battling hard. Captain Lee on the outside. Loader's making ground, and then Rootsland. But Hariba's well clear inside the 200. He kicked away. He's in front of Chief to be is Loader, getting home hard. Captain Lee, but it's all Hariba. He's raced well clear, close to home, and Hariba's bolted in. Captain Lee is second. It's tight for third between Suntain and Loader. Then into the straight, and Hariba is the leader. He's a length in front of Coburger. Chief to be is pulled to the outside, then Mamselle Padrille. A length away, Suntain. Captain Lee pulled out to make a run, and then Loader. Hariba's in front, 300 out. Chief to be is Suntain. Coburger battling hard. Captain Lee on the outside. Loader's making ground, and then Rootsland. But Hariba's well clear inside the 200. He kicked away. He's in front of Chief to be is Loader, getting home hard. Captain Lee, but it's all Hariba. He's raced well clear, close to home, and Hariba's bolted in.
Bookmakers had bet as
Suntain and Loader. Then came...
Did you see that big, wide chest on Hariba? That must house a great big heart. Shane, is he back as Australia's top sprinter?
There's no doubt he is. He was very impressive yesterday. I like the run of Telesto. He was back and finished on strongly. And also Loader. He ran well. And he's going to be hard to beat in the Stradbroke. But realistically, it's impossible to beat Gold Ace or Hariba, looking at the way the race will be run.
Impressive, Simon.
They're going to have to put a big Kelvinator fridge on his back to get him beaten for the rest of this campaign. There's only 2 things that can beat him: if his front legs give out or it's wet.
Let's hear from the people who know.
He's back, Al. You've seen him today, and well, he ran a record too, didn't he? Yeah, he's done a great job, really. I mean, let's face it, it was his 3rd run in about 14 months, and he's done a marvellous job. There was a few little doubters out there, but I've always stuck pretty solid to him, and I think you saw a very good horse today.
Definitely. It was fantastic to see him run like he did today. He was his old self. It was great that he took his time to get to the front, which was a plan, to go out there and do that. Once he got to the front, he really took charge once again. Felt his old self when he straightened up, and when he kicked, he felt fantastic. So, you know, he's run a course record today, and he's beaten by 3, and he's carried 60 kilos, drops to 57 in the Stradbroke, and I'm not getting off him.
You said it, mate. Magnificent sprinter, and that's what Hariba is. He is truly an outstanding racehorse, and all I hope is now he hangs together. He's obviously not a sound horse. Look at the bandages. But nevertheless, this is Hariba as we should know him and as we remember him. Just absolutely scintillating.
Wayne, he humped 60k around yesterday, but this has set up a fantastic clash in the Stradbroke with Gold Ace.
Well, he's re-established himself as Australia's greatest sprinter through this win yesterday. Gold Ace is the horse on the up. He's going to pose the challenge in the Stradbroke. The Freedmans are always confident. They'd never surrender, the Freedmans. You can bet on that, and Gold Ace is going to be hard to beat. But you want to be good to roll Hariba on Stradbroke Day, I'm telling you.
1400.
I do. Who's at very prohibitive odds on the Queensland TAB at the moment. A return of $1.40 for $1. But she's got clearly the best form. Number 2, Arctic Centre, main rival, is at $6. Eastern.
Starting signal given. Lights are on. And they're racing. Celius starting a run from Mage, Responsible Lady, Wing and a Prayer, and last of all is Country Walk around the home turn. Oh, Beedman's got a lap full of horse on Celius, and it went to the front with 400 metres to go. Ballare second, Eastern Zone on the outside, and have a look at the Bolter Sonata running a bit of a race. Also, it is Celius in front at the 200. Sonata, Arctic Centre, now Aphasia. Celius is in trouble, she's gone. Arctic Centre, Sonata and Aphasia, a line of 3. Arctic Centre, Sonata, Aphasia, the 3 of them are coming to the line, and Arctic Centre's one at a nose. Arctic Centre on the fence, a nose. Sonata a lip away. Aphasia, and Celius hasn't run a drum. Then Military Call, Mage, followed then by Eastern Zone, Country Walk, Responsible Lady, Ballare on the bell, Wing and a Prayer, and last home is Dawn Treader.
Turn 450 metres left to go. Ballare is just in front of On the Bell. Celius tackling them 3 wide, and Eastern Zone is going up to join the leaders. Arctic Centre's just behind them looking for the way clear. Then Military Call, and right down the outside, Little Sonata. It's Celius in front, 250 metres to go. He goes for a full board now. She's just in front of Sonata on the outside, and Arctic Centre coming through in the centre and finishing strongly as Aphasia. Celius has gone. Sonata just in front of Arctic Centre. Arctic Centre's through on the inside. They hit it. Arctic Centre just beat Sonata. Third home was Aphasia, and a week.
Of course, in the Oaks was Celius, but we did see a wonderful photo finish and a tremendous finish to that race.
Well, it was certainly a great finish to the race. Celius was disappointing, and I think Pat Hyland is now of the opinion that she's not a genuine 2,400-metre horse. That's despite the fact that she won the VRC Oaks. There she is sprinting to the lead. She dashed at this stage, and then she just ran out of gas after this. You can see Arctic Centre, and it was a beautiful ride by Larry Cassidy. He's coming through in the middle, and that's our little filly Sonata on the outside, and Aphasia 4 wide. Now, have a look at this. This is a bit of a finish. It's Arctic Centre on the inside, Sonata the middle, Aphasia the outside. Cassidy just pushed the Melbourne filly over the line, and she was able to ring up number 1. And atoned for that defeat by Celius in the VRC Oaks. I think she's raced in 5 Oaks, that filly, and she's finally broken through for a Group 1 win here in Queensland. Nice ride by Larry Cassidy, and of course celebrating the contract that he secured to ride in Hong Kong next season.
Well, the little filly Sonata showed plenty of...
The colts have just got so much on them. You have a look, Octagonal, Saintly, Nothing Like a Dane. I mean, they're just miles in front of what the fillies are. So I really can't see any of those fillies measuring up when it comes springtime.
Too happy about...
Was openly critical of Shane Dye's handling of Anthems in the Champagne Stakes and replaced him with Octagonal's autumn partner, Darren Beedman, for the QTC Sires Produce Stakes at Eagle Farm.
Wait here in front of Crystal Power, leads by a length. Forgotten Hero, a neck away third, then last Snippet and Hornet. Regal Centre over on the inside. Flavour coming out wide, starting a strong run, then Superb Lady. Where's Anthem? He's back second last. He's coming to the extreme outside. He's starting to wind up. Forgotten Hero moved up to wait here. Flavour on the outside, joining them. So is Regal Centre. Anthem is really hitting top gear on the outside. He's flying home now. It's Flavour just in front. Anthems is coming at him. Anthem moved up to Flavour. Oh, geez, good. Look at him go to the line. Anthem.
How was that for a performance? Anthems was...
her 2 charges that in the Sires Produce, so what a moment for John Hawkes. Darren Beedman. Darren's starting to make a bit of an art form of Group 1 races, as is John Hawkes.
Yes, that's right. It was Darren's 10th Group 1 for the season. This is an outstanding young horse. The way he puts in over the final stages. Now, he's got the black and the white cap on. There he is, second last with 250 metres to go. Now, watch him extend in the straight here. Look at him flatten out and come out after these leaders. There's his stablemate Flavour and the Cerise going to the lead. Regal Centre just inside of him. But look at the the claim that this fellow's launching on the outside, Anthems. He's an outstanding horse. They were talking about Cox Plates after his win in the sires yesterday. John Hawke said, let's get over the Castlemine first of all, and then we'll talk about the Cox Plate. But that might not be pie in the sky Cox Plate material, Anthems.
Okay, and John Grant. Okay, and John
Ground, you wait till you see him in the springtime when he gets up to 1.25 miles and a mile and a half. You know, really, he is an outstanding prospect. I thought yesterday the 1400 metres that Flavour was going to have its chance, but he just blew him away in the last bit. And how are they going to beat him in the Castlemine? He'll win it easily.
Steve, a good second start comparing him to Octagonal. Is that too high a goal? Or?
Oh yeah, he's got a long way to go to catch up to him, Ken. I mean, he can't do much more than he's done as a young horse, but he's still got another cog or two to catch up to Octagonal.
Goodness me, Simon, there's another Octagonal fan.
Yes, don't worry. It's hard to get away from the old Occy, isn't it? And I think Anthems, look, he's a horse just chock full of class already. It's a 2-year-old. The 3-year-old season here in the spring is going to be very exciting.
And he looks something special.
He's class with a capital C. You know, he just switches off mid-race. He felt like 1.5 miles horse over the crossing. He just switched right off, and when I gave him a click up, he sort of improved a couple of lengths to come into the run without coming into it too strong. But once I angled him out and got him into the open, he really put in, you know, some fine galloping performance, and you know, he's got a great turn of acceleration.
Well, next Saturday...
Come up with 3 for our mate.
OK, Richard, thank you. 1,000 metres or thereabouts of the Queensland Derby.
On the side of the track, 800 out from the judge in the Derby. Barbo, the leader from Battle Wise, and Faience has had a perfect run on the fence. Revenge Races, 4th, then Fresno Canyon. Super Slew is 6th. He's 1 off the fence. 1.5 lengths then to Smoky Victory on the insider, Symphony Time. Then Priceless Asset, Valance about to take off now. And Eastern Zone is last of all as they neared the corner. 4.50 to go. Barbo tackled quickly by Battle Wise, and Faience came around them quickly. Then Revenge and Super Slew, Fresno Canyon, and Valance is a long way back. Battle-wise the leader, 300 to go, a length over. Faience having a bit of a struggle to get to him. On the outside, Super Slew and Revenge, and Valance is coming home. Faience the first beaten. Battle-wise tackled by Super Slew, and Valance on the outside from Revenge. It's Valance going to Super Slew. Super Slew and Valance. Super Slew and Valance, they hit the line. Valance, I think, a nose. Valance, I think, a nose. Super Slew right on the line. Revenge.
And then last of all is Eastern Zone. As they come up towards the home turn, they've got 450 metres left to go. Barbo taken on by Battle-Wise. Battle-Wise sprinting quickly, went to the lead. Faience is into the clear. Super Slew down the outside, starting a long run. Revenge is still there. Priceless Asset, Fresno Canyon behind them. And Valance is pulled to the extreme outside. Faience immediately under pressure. Super Slew hit the lead. It's Super Slew just in front of Battle-Wise. Revenge sticking on. Valance is coming with a big run down the outside. Super Slew in front. Valance is going to him with every stride. Super Slew just in front. Valance diving on the line. Photo close. Valance or Super Slew, nothing in it.
The Queensland Derby.
And there's the photo finish still. Alan Thomas was in good form yesterday. Valance.
Because this was the other extreme of racing. This is what makes racing something special. Peter Eggleston, unlike Lee Friedman, has a small team. He's only got 8 horses in work. Unlike Lee Friedman, who has had 70 Group 1 winners, Valance yesterday in the QTC Derby gave Peter Eggleston his first. And there's a tough little fella, Chris Muntz, getting Valance home, seemingly impossible even at this stage.
Not a lot of pace on early, Wayne. Does that surprise you with Valance's final, the way he produced here at the end?
Well, it certainly did, because there was no pace on early, and it set it up for a very tough assignment for Valance to come from well back in the field. But he responded to Chris's urgings over the final stages. Chris in a little bit of trouble too for comments that he made after the running of the race. They're going to inquire into that tomorrow at Eagle Farm. And I thought the run of Super Slews was very good, because Keith, he just pulled his head off. He ripped and teared right from the word go.
Yes, he's still in tomorrow's Brisbane Cup field, and a rough chance of him running one.
Yes, it's likely that he will run in the Brisbane Cup, but maybe that just took the edge off him a little bit yesterday as far as the pulling goes. But he's going to...
Trotting back to winning the Derby, he had this to say.
Thanks, H, mate. This is unbelievable. This just goes to show all them critics can stick it up their arse and said I wouldn't be right to ride, but I don't prove them wrong, and he's got home.
Certainly did, mate. You got back in the run. Any problems?
Never, mate. He settled lovely. Don't worry about that. This horse will win the Doncaster next year.
Well, stewards are having a look at a copy of that particular interview, but strike me pink. pretty harmless stuff.
It is, but I think the doctor should be having a look at him about his comments about him winning a Doncaster. It's not right if he thinks he's going to win a Doncaster.
I think Shane's right with what he said there before. It's post-race. The bloke's absolutely thrilled. He's had a pressure week. He's just let off a bit of steam.
Simon, it's 19.
Did his run the week before, as I said last week, and he just looked a certainty in the race, I thought. But I tell you should go to the races, because I had a look at Faience yesterday, and he looked nowhere near as good as he did when he won the Grand Prix. He sweated up bad before the race.
I mentioned can help them out there tomorrow.
Set, racing, Encores near the inside, began well. Loader was slow to move at the start. He dropped to the tail of the field, and the first to come out was Hariba. He's joined by Jazz Heaven, and Quick Flick is going quickly in front of 800 metres mark, and Jazz Heaven is the leader from Quick Flick, and there goes Hariba into the box seat, third on the rail, 1.5 to Mamselle Padrille. Dana Singer's in a close fifth, and Ruslan is next. Around our replica Encores, all our mob, Captain Lee, then Monopolise, Rivada, Rancho's Coup, followed by Gold Ace about 6 deep, and then came Loader, followed by Bionic Best, Shaskay. Telesto's a long way back with Persian Flyer and Cohort in the straight, and Jazz Heaven led Quick Flick. Hariba's third on the inside. He's trying to get between the pair from Dana Singer. Here's Encores coming home on the outside, and Monopolises wider out. Dana Singer went up to Quick Flick. Hariba's under pressure near the fence, and Encores and Monopolise, but Dana Singer's the leader with 100 metres to go. Encores is coming after Dana Singer, but Dana Singer's holding Encores and Monopolise close to home. Another one to lead Friedman. Dana Singer won the Stradbroke, defeated Encores, and third Monopolise from Mamselle Padrille, and then came Loader. Hariba hasn't run a place. Telesto, Persian Flyer, and then Cohort, followed by Bionic Best, all our mob. Then came Captain Lee, followed by our replica, and then Quick Flick, followed by Rancho's Coup, Shaskay, Ruslan, Jazz Heaven, and Gold Ace has run last. Lee Friedman.
Bookmakers had bet as much as 20 to 1 about Hariba in the Stradbroke, but this immensely popular sprinter became all the rage after that magnificent Qantas Cup victory. Monopolise, Australia's winning representative in the Hong Kong International Bowl back in December, was a solid second selection, with the Friedman-trained Gold Ace easy in the market after drawing off the course.
Hariba travelling easily. He's a half length away third on the inside. Mamselle Padrille is right on his heels. Dana Singer running fifth on the outside, followed by Encores getting into the clear. Ruslan coming wide, and then Captain Lee and all our mob. They're well in the straight. He can't get out. Hariba, he's in a pocket behind them at the moment. Dana Singer sprinting quickly on the outside. He's gone to the lead. The run's there for Hariba now if he's good enough, but Dana Singer shot away. 150 metres to go. It's Dana Singer a length in front. Here comes Encores. Encores is flying after Dana Singer, but Dana Singer's giving plenty. Oh, he's too good. Dana Singer first. Dana Singer's beaten Encores. Monopolise got third.
This son of champion
farm, the Stradbroke Handicap, and well, a freakish training performance, Keith, I believe, by Lee Friedman to bring him back from a middle distance campaign to win, I think, the greatest sprint race in the country.
Yep, I think so, Wayne. Crowd, the biggest crowd since Tulloch at Eagle Farm yesterday for the Stradbroke.
Were they there to see Hariba?
They probably were, but we did learn something out of this, David. This race has not been won by a squib, and it probably won't be in the future. Not that I'm saying Hariba's a squib, but you need to be a miler, and Hariba proved that he wasn't yesterday. Don't blame the jockey, a lot did, but it wasn't Simon Marshall's fault. 6.3 for the first half mile, or 800 metres. So had Hariba taken them on, it would have been suicidal. He stays behind them, he does get blocked in, but when the gap comes, eventually in the straight, only Dana Singer had gone past him. When he got out, 3 others went past Hariba. Why not? Just don't think it was Hariba was on his day.
No, I think he raced well below what we know he can do, Hariba. Certainly well below the Qantas form. He's held up for a run there, but the gap is coming now between Jazz Heaven and Quick Flick. But look at Dana Singer sprinting quickly on the outside. He's raced past them. Hariba's in the clear now, but he's not good enough to go with Dana Singer. On the outside, Encores, I thought, loomed as a bit of a danger for a moment or two, but Dana Singer too strong in the run to the line, and Dana Singer beat Encores, and Monopolises run very good in finishing in third place. Hariba weakening at the end to finish fifth.
Stephen King aboard.
Even then.
Well, it's lovely working with Ken. I really didn't see a lot of choice for Simon Marshall, I should say. When he jumped, I think Jazz Heaven just went flat out. It ran its fastest 2 furlongs at the start, not at the finish.
You stick to playing cricket. The only races Hariba's won is when he's been allowed to bowl. He's a running horse, and he gets all the other horses off the bit chasing him. If someone had have told you yesterday morning that they make the home turn in the Stradbroke and Dana Singer was a long neck behind Hariba, you'd have thought they had... oh, well, I don't know what you'd have thought.
Well,
but
brains like mine.
A lot's been made of the fact that the first 400 metres of the Stradbroke, or first 800 metres of the Stradbroke, was running about 46.5. What do they think they're going to run him in a $1 million sprint? 55? Of course they're going to go at that speed. Hariba can lead the Lightning Stakes at Flemington 5 furlongs down the straight by 2 lengths on his ear. The 2 horses that led him yesterday can't lead welters. He could have led and maintained. He had no hope held up. He's not a sit and sprint horse. He's a horse that rolls. And the other horse, and that's how he's when he's looked good. He's looked good. He went quicker in the Qantas Cup, ran a track record for 1,300 metres.
He's had plenty on, you know. UTC Classic.
Yeah, well, we can't really bet here because Anthems is a bit too short, although he's just eased on the tote. I'd love him to win. He's won 5 of his last 6. Oops, I'm going the wrong way there. He's now showing $1.60 on the tote, which is odds of around 7 to 4 on.
Anthems beaten in the QTC Classic. He looks an absolute class act.
Yes, the coming star of the Australian turf, a stablemate of Octagonal. He's won 5 from 9. He's actually won 5 of his last 6. And to call the action for...
All in the gates now, so stand by for a start. Anthem's one of the shortest price favourites in the history of the race. The light is now turned on. Dayton, the inside runner in the Lone Star colours. Followed by Superb Lady Nevitt, and then Magic Sea, followed by Hornet. A long way back is Wait Here, followed by Star Covered Anthem, second last as they approach the corner, and last of all is Suggestive. Over the crossing, 600 out, Super Espion is the leader. He led from Aussie Dapper, followed then by Camino Rose, Dayton on the fence from I Like Him. Then Foreign Minister, followed by Geiger Man. We'll have a look for Anthem. He's got 2 behind him as they wheel into the straight. Past the 400, Super Espion, the leader. Dayton getting off the fence from Aussie Dapper. Then Camino Rose, Foreign Minister, I Like Him, Don Tristram, and Anthems is a long way back, coming past the 200, and Dayton hit the lead from Super Espion, and here's Camino Rose, here's Anthems, he's out now, Anthems, and he is going to fly. Anthems coming after Tambour, it's got a split in Dayton. Tambour raced up, Anthems flew out wide, and I'm not sure in this. This is very close. Anthems finished out near the outside fence, and Tambour has burst through in the middle. It's one of those 2, and Dayton's a lip away third. Then came Star Covered, Never.
Dayton in front, the grey, claimed by Tambour.
Classic, over 1,600 metres under handicap conditions at Eagle Farm on June 10th.
Super Espion is the leader. He's pulled a whip on him. He's almost a length in front of Camino Rose on the outside, then Aussie Dapper. Dayton going for a gap in the centre, coming through. Where's the favourite, Anthems? Oh, he's giving them 10 length start. He's a mile behind them. Dayton in front with 200 metres to go. Dayton leads by a length on Camino Rose. Tambour into the clear. Here's Anthems. He's winding up on the outside, but is he giving them too much start? Look at him fly home. Tambour went to Dayton. Anthems flying on the outside. It's going to be tight. They hit it. Oh, it's close.
Anthems was
Here he comes. Here he comes, boy. And they've hit the line. Well, just a coming champion stayer has dived down the outside, Anthems. And boy, oh boy, I just don't know when they've hit the line. Anthems or Tambour. It'll be a crying shame if he's got beaten. Anthems has won it. Number 1, Anthems, a young champion, has won the Castlemine Classic.
Anthems, the 600. How did you rate your chances?
1,000,000 to 1. Oh, he's a bit of a heartthrob to ride, let alone watching the stands. But what an exciting horse. You know, he's just got something that a lot of horses haven't got, and that's pure determination and a great acceleration.
Wait, does he just go to sleep in the run?
Well, he was a little bit tight in the early stages and middle stages, but he just doesn't want to go. You know, like, it's just his nature and his makeup. You know, it's not till he's going to get over 1.5 miles you're going to really see the best of this horse.
He must prick his ears and just go flat out when he sees that finishing post.
Well, with 150 metres to go, I thought I'm going to run a good third. And I just pinned my ears back, and so did he. And we got there, and I tell you what, there's a lot more thrill in winning by a head than getting beaten by a head.
Not a bad year, Octagonal and Anthems, all in the 1 year.
No, it's been an exciting year, you know.
Keep it up. Octagonal and Anthems. Anthems, any comparison with Octagonal?
Probably Octagonal was probably a little bit more acceleration, and like as a 2-year-old against the brilliant 2-year-olds like our Maze Cane, horses like that. But this horse is really starting to hit his straps now, and he's going to be better when he gets over 1.5 miles. That is
spectacular. We've seen in Brisbane for quite some time, and he'll go down as one of the all-time great Castlemine winners, and I'm sure he's going to prove that he's one of the greats of the Australian turf during the spring. His touch
to about $11 on the TAB, or odds of 10 to 1. Electronic is at roughly the same price. Desert Chill at 15 to 1. Crying Game is the only scratching in the race, the West Australian 3-year-old. Gossips is a 20 to 1 chance. French Resort, favourite on the tote, $4.60, odds of just over 7 to 2. Maxim from New Zealand, Mick Dittman's mount, exactly $6, odds of 5 to 1. 16 to 1 the Adelaide St Leger winner Cedo Bridge. 9 to 2 Dupain, very much in commission, about $5.60 now. 80 Cushman, 30 Lords, he's at 9 to 1. I thought Super Slew had a good chance, he's at 10 to 1.
Go forward, Electronic looks beaten, and then came Super Slew, Knowles Wish, Trista King, Red Rhythm, and last of all is Desert Chill. Dupain went up the Gossips as they go over the crossing, 600 out. French Resort's gone to third, followed by Lord Series, Knowledge Box and Maxim, and further back is Cedo Bridge and the Phantom Chances. They round the corner where Dupain and Gossips. They led up the 400 metres mark, 2 lengths, Lord Series, French Resort, and Maxim on the outside from the Phantom Chance, but Dupain race well clear, 250 to go, it's Dupain. He's 3 lengths to Gossips, followed by French Resort, Maxim next, and Super Slew from a long way back with the Phantom Chance, but Dupain is giving them a galloping exhibition in the Cup. He's raced well clear from Maxim, Super Slew and the Phantom Chance outside, but Dupain has won by a big space. Dupain first, Maxim second, third, either Super Slew or the Phantom Chance, followed by Gossips, Desert Chill, Trista King, French Resort and Knowles Wish, followed by Electronic, K-Kane, Red Rhythm, Cushman, Cedo Bridge, Lord Siri, followed by Teltina, Gold Sovereign, and Knowledge Boxes.
Open class Group 1 race to go. The $500,000 Wide World of Sport Brisbane Cup.
Super Slew swinging to the outside. They've hit the straight now, just on 400 metres to go. Dupain sprinted quickly on the outside. He's really turning it on, Dupain, and he's raced away from them. 300 metres to go. Dupain's raced away. He's 3 lengths in front of Gossips, French Resort, then Maxim, the Phantom Chance, and Super Slew. But boy, look at this. It's Dupain well clear with 100 metres to go. He's killing them in the Brisbane Cup, and he's going to win it easily. Dupain first by 6 lengths, Maxim second, Super Slew third. Then the
Dupain
second. And Dupain now looms as a real chance in the Caulfield Cup and the Melbourne Cup. He completely demoralised the opposition in the Brisbane Cup, winning by 6 lengths.
Yesterday, of course.
Can Grande at the 300-metre mark in front here of Maltese Grey. Here's Moss Rocket on the outside, making his run from Steel Switch. Montana Sands down the outside, and then Legal Agent Victoria Park struggling. Can Grande and Moss Rocket, the 2 champs, come away to fight it out. Moss Rocket, Can Grande finding something. He kicks. Is he good? Yes! Can Grande ahead to Moss Rocket, Legal Agent third.
The Ramone at Grafton, Can Grande's done it again. That's 12 out of 13 races that horse has won. Ken, have we got another superstar?
Well, he's a very, very good horse. You can't underrate a horse who's had 13 starts for 12 wins. He won 6 in a row. Inexplicably, he ran terrible here one day at Rose Hill. Then he's won another 6 in a row. Like Moss Rocket is very close to the best sprinter in Australia, certainly in the top 2 or 3. Ken Grande, a 3-year-old, beat him at Grafton. I thought he beat him fair and square, and I backed Moss Rocket. G'day, Shane Dye, what do you think?
The best racehorse in the world these days. There's really only one contender. That was Cigar winning the Breeders' Cup last year, his 13th consecutive win. He made that 14 by taking the $4 million Dubai World Cup, the closest horse racing has yet come to having a genuine World Championship race.
It's going to be Cigar, it's going to take it up the line. Cigar by 3 possible. 14 out of 14 for Cigar, a world champion.
Now he's done it again, making it 15 in a row. Almost at a canter, he won the Massachusetts Handicap in Boston.
It's Cigar in front, and down the stretch he comes, on his way to his 15th straight victory. And let this racehorse burn in your memory. We won't see another like him in our lifetime.
Yep, take a long look at a genuine wonder horse. That win takes him within just one of the record 16 consecutive victories set by the Great Citation.
A lot of champions at times with racehorses. Cigar is one of them. Last night he was running at Arlington, or I should say the early hours of this morning, to try and match Citation's record of 16 wins in a row. Now we'll show you this race. He's number 10, he's in the Star and Stripes colours, and our race call, interesting enough, is Michael Rona, who's an Australian. Let's see if Cigar matched that record.
Racing, and to the roar of the crowd, Polo
Your Expedition breaks first. Honour and Glory firing out of the inside gate. He's going to go through and take the lead now. It's Honour and Glory off last of all, Tennant's Harbour. Here's Cigar moving up into third position, just a length from the leader. Then comes Eldritch in the pink cap. Unbridled Song couldn't sprint with Cigar. And now Jerry Bailey sets Cigar alight. And they reach the quarter pole in the Arlington Citation Challenge. Cigar and Dramatic Gold making runs together. They run to the front as they turn for home. Honour and Glory dropping out to third. Cigar comes to the eighth pole, taking over by a half length. Dramatic Gold is running a mighty race on the inside, but Cigar seems to have his measure. He's starting to stretch away now. Cigar is an unstoppable dynamo. The crowd raises to a champion. 16 in succession as Cigar assumes the crown of immortality. Second, Dramatic Gold. Eldritch third from Honour.
Straight is a hell of a big ask, and that's what Cigar was facing up to as he prepared for his record attempt at Del Mar racetrack in the early hours of this morning. Now, something like 40,000 people packed into the Del Mar track to watch Cigar's record attempt. The horse was sweating up noticeably as he moved into the starting gates. His connections were uptight, and so was the ESPN cameraman, who had severe technical troubles during the race. Apologise. Watch Cigar, gate 4.
All set. There's the roar from the crowd. The Pacific Classic field is underway. Cigar began beautifully. He's going to take them along as slow as he can. He leads them by just under a length. Cigar is right there between horses. Dramatic Gold is pestering Cigar throughout. He's right up alongside, and those three now have started to sprint away up front. It's 4 back to Dare and Go. Tenner's Way's got to pick it up. These 9 off them, and Luthier Fever is distant. They go to the quarter pole. Siphon at the rail. Cigar is right up alongside. Dramatic Gold can keep up. They run to the quarter pole. Can Siphon try to run his biggest race of his life and keep Cigar away? Cigar's in front. Dare and Go with a white cap is now looming a danger. Dare and Go's going to look for the upset. Cigar takes the lead. Dare and Go's got dead aim on him. Cigar's got him dig deep. He's had to run very fast early, and he can find. And Dare and Go has gone right on by Cigar. A 16th of a mile to go. And you can never underestimate a classy horse. And this is one classy guy on his day. Dare and Go. And Alex Celius win the Pacific Classic. Cigar ran his heart out, but has to settle for second. Siphon was third, then Dramatic Gold, and Luthier Fever finished last.
Yes, the winner's name, Dare and Go, trained by Dick Van Dellen, ridden by Alex Solis. Yes, the winner's name, Dare and Go, trained by Dick Van Dellen, ridden by Alex Solis, and he won by about 3.5 lengths. Shane, it appears to me that Jerry Bailey has ridden Cigar.